Wow. Tough ball game tonight.
Yikes.
Giants lose 6-5. Frustrating loss as they can't get anything going offensively except for Blake Sabol.
Yeah, he's the only one, right?
2 home runs, 5 RBIs, drives in all 5 runs. Giants bats look pathetic since the road trip started back in Toronto. They've gone cold, and I don't like the moves Kapler's making it. I don't like the way things look.
What a wasted, fantastic start of Webb, though, huh?
Yep.
He pitched like an ace tonight, 100%.
I'm here. Hit my mic there.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't like the way Peterson's playing. To me, you're paying him $19 million to be pretty much the
He's the one that's supposed to be knocking it out of the park. Yeah.
Yeah. Sabol should be the DH. You should trade Jock for what you can get and just move on. I mean, come on. I'm getting frustrated with the fact that he's not carrying. He should be carrying this team as a veteran, and he doesn't look comfortable at the plate. Another terrible day for the Giants. They lose Thairo Estrada for maybe up to 6 weeks with a fracture in his hand, getting hit yesterday against the Mets. Kapler leaving Duvall out there in the 9th.
Yeah,
he's already given up 3 runs. Just save him. Take him out. Save him for tomorrow. Just, I didn't even like the fact that he put him out there in the 9th. I would have liked Duvall for extra innings because you're at home. You hope to get to the bottom of the 9th tied. And then when you have a man on second base, you need a strikeout pitcher because you don't want that run to score in the 10th. You need a guy that can, just a lot of bad mistakes tonight. Lamont Wade should have taken the out at first. Once he looked the runner back that he froze him, he could have just run over to third. And if the guy broke for home, then throw it. But he looked him. He thought he was going. He threw back to third. Too late. High throw. Take the one out. You're still tied.
Yep.
Take the one out, and changes the complexion of the game, the complexity. But he made some good other plays. Senior softball game says trade Sabol. You probably get a lot for Sabol. But I wouldn't trade him because he's 25 and he could be your DH of the future. Plus, having a guy like that who can DH and be a backup third catcher, I'd kind of like to see the Giants maybe. I'm not crazy about Sabol behind the plate because he has a lot of struggles back there. He's caught some good games recently, and then tonight he just didn't look that great. But what about bringing back Joey Bart and having Joey Bart as your second catcher and moving on from Wilmer Flores and playing Bart at first base? Bart's 26. Flores is in his 30s. He's not going to be an anchor around this team. Yeah, Wilmer can give you a little utility here at third and a little bit at second. But, what Bart might be able to do, seeing some regular at bats against lefties and playing first base while Lamont is, I guess what I'm saying is I think you could probably get more for Flores at this point than you could with Bart. Why would you just give Bart away for nothing if you're going to, trade him? He might develop. Matt Williams took 3 years. His first 3 years, Matt Williams had 693 at bats. Like 200 more than Bart's had in the major leagues. Matt Williams was hitting 198 after 3 years. His 4th year, he was hitting 275, 276, started knocking the ball out of the park like crazy. Sometimes it takes guys a while. Matt Williams had a little bit more at bats to see.
Yeah, but one thing I think I mentioned to you, he was younger too, though. He was in his ages.
He was like 23, 24 after 3 years. He came up younger. But they're not doing anything a favor for Bart by up and
True.
down, up and down. He
Yeah.
can't, the one thing I can say with Matt Williams is they gave him a couple hundred at bats a year. So anyway, I was hoping Los might be able to join tonight, but he's not available. I was supposed to join Larry's show at 9:00 tonight. He pushed it back to 9:30, and then he started at 9:15. So he kind of the whole thing kind of threw me off here. So
yeah, what a mess.
The idea was I was going to be on Larry's channel until the Giants game ended, and then we were going to come over here to NorCal Sports Network and continue here. I'm kind of torn because I thought we were starting at 9, and then I could have started this like at 9:30, 9:40.
Yep.
But him throwing me a curveball, I didn't see it. I swung and missed. So
yeah. Hey, real quick, got a super chat in there. I'll put it up. There you go.
Hey, Mark, thank you. Sorry, guys, my internet wouldn't load. I didn't know you were on. I refreshed and here now. All right. Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate it, Mark.
Thank you. Yeah. So go ahead and take it away for a sec here. I'm going to look something up real quick. I'll
okay.
be right back.
Go for it. Yep. Yeah. Wow. How about Doval not knowing how to hold some runners on, man? That was pretty bad. I think they got 3 or 4 stolen bases on the guy. I think he needs to kind of figure that one out. Hey, let's at least look the runner back or something. At least you're paying attention to where the runner is, because they were just running wild on Doval there in the 9th inning. It didn't help. It showed in game day it was a wild pitch. I don't know if that was something that Sable could have got, but yeah, it wasn't looking good. I don't know if it's maybe it had to do with the flyover from New York. I mean, he didn't do any work, and did he? I don't even know. Did he even pitch in New York? I don't even know. But he definitely didn't pitch the last game, so he was well rested. So yeah, that was a tough loss there. Sable, he did cost some runs, but he also gained some back. 5 RBIs, 2 home runs. Yeah. He's got 9 home runs on the season, one more than Jock right now, and you're paying $19 million for him.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy what's happening right now with the Giants. That's 3 in a row, and they look flat, which I predicted they would look flat tonight. I thought it was going to be a 3-1 type ball game, and it looked like it was going to be that way until, the 8th inning.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that 9th inning. Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, so, Giants made it close. Sable, 3-run knock had who was on before Sable? Who was up? Worked the account. Was it Matos?
Before Sable, I can't remember who it was.
Let me look.
Mario, yes, agreed. Jock has been awful for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was Matos.
I don't know if you're in here earlier, Mario, but yeah, Dan commented on Jock's inability to produce, especially with the amount of money that they're paying him.
Yeah, Matos was
Matos had a rough game.
Was in front of Sable. It's just dang, he struck out twice. Matos, yeah, just get on base. Crawford had a chance at the end of the game to do some damage. Struck out swinging. This is how baseball goes. You win 10 straight. You win whatever they had won, 13 out of 15, something like that, and now it could turn on him.
It's funny. Will makes this point about Sable had absolutely no business being behind the dish. His fundamentals behind the dish are god awful. Here's the issue, though. Remember when the Giants came out of spring training? They came out with 3 catchers. It was going to be Bart, Perez, and Sable as a third, right? Now you don't have that third catcher anymore, so Sable is your secondary, and there's no way you could throw Bailey out there again. Not after catching last night, having that long trip over. He caught all 3 games in New York. You got to give that guy a rest somewhere. So, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, Giants are hurting because Crawford wasn't really fully available in the field tonight. Kind of looked like something in his side yesterday.
Well, they said, yep.
I mean, had he been available, maybe you don't have to bring up Wisely for Estrada. Maybe you could bring up either a lefty like Diaz, or you could have possibly brought up Joey Bart and had him catch tonight.
Yeah.
And Sable, been out in the field or DHing. I mean, the Giants just, the way they run this thing just kind of irritates me.
You know
They're
what?
Constantly bringing guys up, Eric, for because of a game.
A game.
Like a game. Like, okay, we're going to bring up Wisely because we're right-handed pitching.
Perfect segue, Dan. Perfect segue. Here we go. You got the lineup that comes out. You got Conforto starting at DH. So he's going to have at least 4 at-bats. Why couldn't they have brought him in yesterday with the bases loaded in the 8th inning? You're going to tell me that he can't go from swinging the bat once in the 8th inning yesterday to being able to swing the bat 4 times today as a DH. You mean he miraculously was able to recover that quickly to where he can't swing at once to where he's got 4 at-bats? Unbelievable. I don't get that. That was the perfect time because he obviously his eye's still there. He had a decent game. He was hitting the ball pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have scored a couple of runs, but
totally. So, it is what it is. But hey, I'm going to run over. I wanted to get this thing going real quick so we don't lose any. I want to, get the Giants thing going. I didn't want to wait, especially after a tough loss. So I'm going to run over, and I'll be back in 20 minutes, guys. I'll be back. It's 9:36. I'll be back by 5 to 10. Okay. I'm not going to stay over there long. So if that works, I'll just be right back, and hopefully I can drive some Larry's guys when I get off, that I can drive everybody over to NorCal Sports and we can pick up some more people. So carry on. If anybody wants to come in and be with you want to co-host with anybody, or?
No, I'm good for now. I mean,
I
think I handle 20 minutes. All right, even if you have to go a little bit longer, not a big deal.
All right, if you want to bring in Eric L, I don't know, maybe
I haven't seen him in here yet, but we're good for now.
If he's on and he asks to come in, just send it to him. Lou Marston says, "Relax, have yes." All right, so I will and yeah, we're on Twitter right now. And,
Lord,
no,
I ain't ready for that yet. Not yet, Chardal.
Not ready yet, Chardal. So I'll be back. I'll be back by 10. Okay, it's 9:38. I'll be back by 10, and I'll see you guys soon.
All right, Dan. We'll see you in a minute.
Thanks.
You bet. Wow. But yeah, we already kind of covered it a little bit about what happened with the Giants game. Let's see. What's the chat have? I know we kind of were talking about Sable quite a bit here. His ability behind the plate isn't quite, where you want it to be. But you know what? He did some damage he was the only one doing damage with the bat. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. I mean, you really can't. It's hard to complain about that. I think we could complain about other things other than what Sable did behind the plate. Short, I will probably bring you on towards the end. Not right now. Not when we're just beginning. Interesting. I saw an interesting post up here talking about, and I wish I remember who said it. See if I could find it. They were talking about someone was mentioning Bochy wouldn't lose games like this. And yeah, you know what? I think I would have to tend to agree. I'm trying to find it, see if I can. There it is. Ron Holder. It says Bochy used to win Giants games with his managing, but Kapler keeps losing games with his managing. Yeah, Kapler's had issues. Today wasn't a good day. I think yesterday was not a good idea. I think they should have thrown Conforto out there in the 8th inning. Like I talked about it a minute ago. If you can start him at DH today, there is no reason whatsoever that he cannot have had 1 at bat yesterday in the 8th inning. I mean, how long would that game would have lasted anyways if he didn't? It's not like he's going to go up there and play a full game. But yeah, I don't understand some of the moves that are made. Webb, though, I mean, we're not talking enough about Webb because Webb had a fantastic game today. He takes you deep. throws over 100 pitches. I think he threw just over 100 pitches, had 10 strikeouts, limited the damage. You know, he did everything he could for the Giants to win the game, but the lineup just wasn't there. I mean, it kind of stinks when you don't have I'm not going to blame injuries so much this time because, I mean, Estrada was kind of scuffling anyway, so I don't think they were missing him as much as like Wade or Yaz, and both of them came back today. So, yeah, man. What do we got here? Someone was talking about, get the Shakespeare man on for Oregon. Greg from Oregon. I think that's who it is, right? He always has a great Shakespeare quote for when he was on with Marty Lurie and Bill Lasky. Let's see. I didn't see the Rangers game, but I saw that they lost it in the 10th. I didn't get a chance to look at the box score. Hey, Mark, did Chapman even come in? I saw that Will Smith, I think, had the loss to that. So I don't know if Chapman was pitching before that, but yeah, that sucks. Let's see. I'm just looking up here, and I agree with Eric. You couldn't have had Bailey catch another fly cry out. Need a defensive catcher. Yeah, I agree. Maybe. I mean, they came out. There is a reason why they came out of spring training with 3 catchers, because I think Sable still needed some time, to really hone that craft of being a catcher, a major league catcher. So yeah, I think having that long flight, they should. If you're going to make a move, they should have just brought up Bart and then saved. Let's see, maybe he could have. I don't know who else they would have had in the infield though. They needed a second baseman. Well, unless you put Crawford at short, but maybe he was aching and that's why he came in late. But let's see what's going on here, Mark. Eric, you're better than that other show. I appreciate that. He does a good job. Come on, I don't want to dog on Larry. Larry's a great guy. He knows his craft really well. So I'm not going to dog on him. He likes talking Niners. There's nothing wrong with that. Talking some hoops, just because they just had the draft and the free agency is hot and heavy. So, Chapman did go 1 clean inning. Wow. I wonder why he didn't close. That's a guy that I think you would want to close out that game instead of coming in. Maybe he had to stop some hemorrhaging. I didn't see the game. Maybe he had to stop some things going south for the team. So maybe he kind of was a stopper at that point, and then they brought in Smith, but obviously he wasn't able to get the job done. I would agree with you, Mario. The team doesn't give up. It does have a lot of fight. They're always trying to, do their best to try to win the game. So yeah, I would agree with you. It just sucks. It just wasn't quite enough. That top of the 9th was just a disaster. It's hard to overcome, a 4-run deficit. I mean, they almost did it. They almost did it with Sable's heroics, but you can't rely on just those guys or just on one guy hitting a jack. Let's see. Never count the Giants out. Good old Robert. The enthusiasm is great. I understand where you're coming from that, but yeah, it was a mess. Greg, come on, man. He's an all-star. I wouldn't say tonight, yes, he sucked, but does he suck as a closer? No, but yes, he had a sucky night. Let's say that. I would agree with you if tonight sucked. Let's see. Fractured. Yeah, that's weird. I was listening to the radio a little bit when I was outside watering the grass. Fleming was saying, I guess he took an X-ray in New York, showed a negative X-ray, comes back here, gets an MRI, and it shows a fracture. So I don't know how bad that fracture is. Is it going to require pins and, intrusive type of surgery? Of course, that will push it out. That puts you more at the 6 weeks rather than the 4 weeks. But yeah, that sucks. He's your main second baseman there. Yeah, he was kind of slumping a little bit, but yeah, you don't want to see a guy going down to injury. Another guy goes down because of getting hit by a pitch. That's rough. Wow, this team is cooked. It's not looking good right now. I mean, we're still, 7 games above 500? I mean, but it's not looking good. This road trip and then coming back on a home trip and having this type of an outing, especially when you got your team ace on the mound, that's tough. And now I think tomorrow's probably going to be a bullpen game. No, tomorrow's Cobb, right? And then the third game is going to be a bullpen. If you could come out with winning the series, everything's better. But yeah, it's not looking good right now. Yeah, but you know what? Some of these injuries, it's a combination of quote unquote baseball injuries, getting hit by a pitch. You can't foresee that. That just happens. But then you got those soft tissue injuries, hamstrings going down everywhere. Yaz, Slater, Conforto. Those are the kind of injuries that make you go, can it be a baseball injury because you're hustling or something crazy happens? Yeah, but it's rough. Let's see. Will Bart be good to, I don't know what other moves they can do. I'm trying to think because they need infielders. Someone's going to have to look at the roster for me just to find out exactly what do they got on the 26 man. Do they got other guys that can cover? I guess if you want, they could probably send Wisely down and it all depends on how Crawford feels because his side, I guess, is hurting. So when your side is hurting, it's not going to be conducive to being able to play good defense or swing the bat. Mongo. I remember McMichael. Yeah, he'd always come out there in the jersey. Yeah, I remember him. Gosh, going way back now. Wasn't there another football guy? I can't remember. If there's another football guy that came in the wrestling. Goldberg was a football guy. He was he's professional football. The Rock, I think he played for University of Miami, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't want to. We could talk about that a little bit. I don't want to get derailed already. Dan's going to lose his mind if I'm talking wrestling after this game. The IL is rough right now. It really is. And in combination, Jose, to add on to that, you got starting pitching that's kind of struggling. They're limping. And here's another thing that I was talking to Dan earlier about. I don't know. Did you guys see DeSclafani is going on the 15-day DL for a fatigued right shoulder. Okay. Isn't this going to be the right time to bring up Harrison? What is it going to take for this team to now bring up Harrison? I was making that call for Matos. What's it going to take to bring Matos up? Now we're getting to the point of look at where the Giants rotation is right now. Why wouldn't you want to bring up Harrison? I think he's ready. I mean, why not? You only got two starters who are going to give you quality starts. And I don't mean 6 innings, 3 runs, but I mean, that are going to be deal pretty good when they're out there, Webb and Cobb. After that, it's all bullpen. It's all bullpens. So, and now you got DeSclafani going down for 15 days. Bring up Harrison. Why not? This is the perfect time to bring up the guys that can contribute to helping you win games, right? I think we've seen enough of Harrison in AAA to show that he can do it. Yeah, does he have trouble with command? Yes. But do I also think that Bailey could help him? Absolutely. With his framing, I don't have any doubt that Bailey could steal some strikes for Harrison so he's not having to throw as many. So just do it. Bring him up. If they're not bringing him up now, then maybe they're doing some roster manipulation just to save him for next year so they could get those draft picks because, if you bring up a rookie, he finishes in rookie of the year standings and you get another draft pick or something. I hope that's not what it is because the Giants really need this guy. We need some starting pitching in a bad way. And why not bring him up? He's in your organization. He's ready to go. Let's do it. It can't be any worse. Can it be any worse than what DeSclafani's doing right now? Really? Is it? I don't think so. And if you need to you got the bullpen to help him. If you got a bullpen that can help DeSclafani, I would think that you have a bullpen that could help Harrison. I say do it. But what do I know? I'm just a fan on YouTube with Dan and talking baseball. That's all I know. Ooh, good point. If the Yankees want Jock, do you trade? Why not? Is Jock part of the future? Honestly, is Jock part? And what he's doing now, yes, I understand that when, he's awesome in a postseason, but you can't always rely on that. You got to get to the postseason before you can talk about being in the postseason. So, and is he part of the Giants' future? I don't know. If he's part of the future, no. But if he's not, then why not trade? And you probably could get a good piece with him. Wiz and Hunt, he's another guy. Promote him up to AAA. I know the other night he was kind of a little bit erratic. He limited the damage. He pitched 2 innings. I think he walked 5 and he struck out 4. But maybe, I don't know, maybe he just had a bad outing. That happens every so often. So I don't know. And yes, exactly, Senior. We've been talking about this the whole time. Even if the Giants don't make the postseason, it's a win in the sense that you're developing your guys and you're bringing guys up to the major league level, seeing what they got, and then building upon that. Even promoting the guys within your organization, within the minor leagues, as long as you're showing progress and that they're not just staying at one level for forever. I mean, just look at Bailey. He rocketed through. And look what he's doing at the major league level, which is fantastic. You can't ask for anything better than that. And you got, Matos and Schmidt, they got some things to be working on. This is the big league level. Sometimes it takes a little while for you to catch your breath and figure things out, but I think they're going to be fine. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, the 19. Well, when you trade him, though, of course, I don't know how much left will be on his contract. It's probably going to be less than half. But yeah, you're freeing up some of that money for next year as well. But yeah, I don't know who the Yankees would trade for. They're gonna need power, with Judge being out. I just don't know if they need a left-handed bat. Why not? I mean, hell, it's Yankee Stadium. You got that short porch in right field. So yeah, maybe they won't want him. We'll have to see. He's just not showing that power this year like he has in the past. 8 home runs up to this point. That's kind of tough. Whereas Dan, he is over at Larry's channel talking some Warriors and Kings preseason. So they're just discussing that. And then he'll be back over here around 10 o'clock or so. It's okay, Chardal. He will be back. No reason to fear. Oh, Wisely. I know. It's funny when Dan told me that, I messaged him. I was like, I called him Brett through the wickets Wisely. Because man, that guy on defense, he's let a few go right between the legs, and it's not probably the last guy I would think about wanting to come up, especially when a team is struggling defensively. Even though they're winning games, they struggle defensively. I don't even want to bring in another guy that's going to further create issues on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, I appreciate it, Senior. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you like the content. We're always here doing post games with the San Francisco Giants. When it gets into football season, I know Dan will probably be covering some other stuff within Northern California. So, yeah, if you like the content, we're also starting to put out some extra videos. We got a video out there talking about the Giants prospects according to Fangraphs. I guess ESPN just came out with theirs today, but I kind of like Fangraphs. They do a pretty good job. They really get into the weeds about about the prospects, what they have and what they project to be. So it's interesting. If you want to take a look at it, just check out the channel. You'll be able to see it. Hopefully, next time we have one, the comments will be turned on, so then there could be a little bit more interaction with those who watch the video. Larry, 18 likes. Eric, 14. Oh, here we go. I already see what's going on. Senior, you're good at that. Stoking the fires. Let's go. Casey Schmidt, yeah, he had a rough game today. 2 at-bats, 2 strikeouts. Yeah, I think he might have to go back down to AAA just to work on things. His bat. The defense, we all know that his defense is impeccable. I'm not worried about the defense, but yeah, he needs to get things figured out with the bat. Why not? It ain't going to hurt. You got some other guys down there that can make do for the time being, but yeah, the Schmidt needs to work on his bat for sure. Let's see. 150 watching. 42. Yeah. How about that? Only 18 likes over there and 14 over here. And we got less than A third of what they have. Yep, there we go. Man, it's funny. Every time when Larry and Dan were before Dan had his own show, I'd be in the chat all the time as Romo 2001. You guys know me as Romo 2001. And every time they're talking about other stuff, I'm talking to other guys about baseball. That's just my love. I enjoy baseball. I love talking baseball, even in the off season. It's just what I like. People like talking football more. People like talking basketball, but yeah, baseball, I love it. Just something about it. Yes, I think he could have. He was slumping, but yeah, Estrada is always a threat. Yeah, he showed it early in the season. Maybe he was getting tired. I don't know. Maybe he was battling something. You know, sometimes players will battle injury and they don't say nothing. But he was having a rough go of it. But you don't want to see someone go down because of an injury, because now it just ruins everything. He'll have to rehab and then get back and, get his eye back. So we'll see what happens. Yep, exactly, Carlo. Let's see what we got here. Yes, Giants are in a dogfight. You know what? They're in a dogfight for the damn NL West too. I didn't see. I think, did Arizona win? I know it was kind of a close game, and I don't know. Here, let me bring it up. Let me take a gander at this and see what's going on. I guess we could do a check out the out of town scoreboard here. Let me bring it up. They got Julio Rodriguez with his trident. It's funny. Where are we going here? Scores. Let me increase that. There we go. All right, let's share the screen. We'll take a look and see what's going on around the big leagues. All right, make sure it looks good. All right, cool. Not too bad. All right. We got Padres beating up on the Angels. Look at that. Top of the ninth, 10-3. Josh Hader in there to close it. Looks like that's probably going to be a done deal. So it looks like Padres back in their winning ways. They've won, what is that now, 2 in a row, I think? I think they beat the Reds. Didn't they beat the Reds? I thought they beat the Reds at the end. I can't remember. But yeah, they beat the Angels. What do you got here? There's that Astros and Rangers score. 12-11. Mark Hope was letting us know about that. They lost it in the bottom of the the top of the ninth, and then the Rangers couldn't come back. Brewers beat the Cubs. We got the Reds over the Nationals. Reds are still winning. That's another division that's going to be a tight race between the Brewers and the Reds. That's going to be pretty exciting. And if Pittsburgh starts doing something maybe again, that could be similar to the NL West. We'll have to see. Marlins come from behind and beat the Cardinals. Look at that. Marlins, they lost Chisholm again. I guess he's out for a oblique. Who knows how long he'll be gone. But they were winning even without Chisholm. So that's another team to watch, another young team. Yankees beat the Orioles in the NL East battle. Braves win. Imagine that. Man, they're a powerhouse right now, aren't they? I think, if I'm not mistaken, the new power rankings come out, and they're number 1. I think number 1 was the Braves. Number 2 was the Rays from Tampa Bay. I can't remember who number 3 was. Twins beat the Royals. Really not a surprise there, 8-4. And like I said, there was that Padres Angels game. That's a final now. Snell with another win. 5-6. Okay. Let me talk. Let's see. Who was talking? There was someone talking about wanting to get Snell in the chat. Someone was talking about the last few streams, talking about getting Snell. His win-loss isn't that great, but he's got almost a sub-3 ERA. I don't know. I guess the chairman of the Padres came out and said that they're staying put. So I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna do any trades. They might want to stay in it. Snell, MF wanted Snell. Yeah, it looks like we'll see. But I don't know. We'll see if they have a run in them. AB, what's it say? Brewers and Reds are tied with the Giants now for the last wild card spot. I'm telling you, it's going to be exciting. It kind of sucks in a way because you want your team to just run away with it. But this NL race is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Honestly, I don't think Zimmer, I'm kind of always had the position, trading within your division is kind of, you really don't see that too often. You don't want to make your rivals better. So I don't see that happening. He's going to be a free agent next year, though. I don't know if that's something the Giants may want to look into. There's the Mariners and Giants, yeah. And, Dodgers beat the Pirates in L.A. Who got the win? Ferguson got the win? I wonder what kind of I wonder if that was a bullpen game or not. I don't know. Interesting. So they won 5-2. Let's check out the standings while we're at it. Where are we at here? Let's go down to the NL. Yeah, look at the Braves, man. They're definitely going to win the NL East. Make sure we're still, Braves are definitely going to win the NL East. Unless they have some massive, I don't even know, injuries or what, or they just start scuffling somehow. I don't see it. They're playing 670, almost 680 ball. I mean, that is fantastic. And real quick, before we talk to the other, how about Acuna breaking? Was he breaking a first person in the major leagues to get 20 home runs, 40 steals, and 50 RBIs? Before the All-Star break, if I'm not mistaken? I mean, that is just unbelievable. Acuna is having a hell of a year. Whew. Yep, I agree. I don't think the Braves there's no way I don't think anyone's catching that team. I agree with you, Jose. Not in the NL East. The Central, this is where things start getting interesting here. You got the Brewers and the Reds. They're tied. Look at that. Both playing about 540 ball. Similar win-losses, 46 and 39. Look at Milwaukee at home. They're 23 and 18 at home, 23 and 21 away. The Reds are 23 and 21 at home and 23 and 18 away. Oh, that's really weird. That is that is pretty cool. I've never quite seen anything like that. Pittsburgh, I mean, I don't think they're going to do anything. If they have a run in them, maybe they could cut it close. I mean, they're only 6.5 back. And then you got the NL West, which is a race. Now you got the Giants, who are 4 games back of the Diamondbacks. Dodgers still in striking. I mean, I'm not saying that the Dodgers or the Giants can't make that up. That's easily made up. But you got the Dodgers at 2.5 behind. And then you got the Padres and, bringing up the rear, Colorado Rockies. Let's see. Let's break it down by how do you do that? By wild card. Let's bring it down here. Holy criminy, look at that. Look at that wild card race. Let me come back to the stream here and see what's going on. Yep, 40 stolen base. Got his 40th stolen base today there, senior. I mean, the guy is just a hell of a ball player. Holy moly. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. I'm missing some super chat. Sorry about that, guys. I'm looking at the standings here. Glass half full. If Farhan one moves we're going to make. Cool Schumann. Hey, I appreciate that, Glass. I appreciate that. We try. Try to keep it as honest as possible. Not try to be fake about anything. If you're Farhan, what moves would you make? Strike early. The starting pitching, man, that's where I think that's where it's at. But here's the problem. The problem with this trying to get starting pitching, you're going to have so many teams that are going to get involved in starting pitching. Just look at that wild card. You got the Marlins, the Dodgers, the Giants, the Brewers, the Reds, the Phillies. I mean, even the Pirates are right there. You got a lot of teams who are going to need starting pitching to to bolster that roster for a playoff run. man, it's going to be tough. And if I was Farhan, I'd strike early. Why not? If you strike early, maybe you could get a better deal than if you're waiting to the last minute. Now you got all these other teams or you're competing against. The price will go up. Give them a good offer right off the rip. Strike early and try to get a good starting pitcher, because that's what the Giants are going to need if they want to go. If you want to make a playoff run, you're going to have to get another good starter. Period. On top of bringing up someone like Harrison. I mean, that's an addition to bringing up the guys that you have already, because it's hard to lean on a young guy for a playoff run. Not everyone could do it. Not everyone's like a Madison Bumgarner where they could come into the playoffs and just deal. But get that solid starter. That's what I would do. Mark, appreciate it. I appreciate that. You know, like I said, I'm waiting for Dan to show up. He's already 5 minutes late. I'll have to give him some shit. Let's see where we at here. What did I miss? Maybe next year maybe next year for the Giants. I ain't gonna count them out yet. There, I want to say it's over. Have a little bit of faith, Greg. You know, they're only 4.5 out of the division. They're in a 3-way tie with the third spot, the wild card. More importantly, look at these young guys, Greg. Get excited about the young guys who are coming up, because I guarantee we'll probably see Harrison. I don't know if it's not going to be till after the All-Star break, maybe even after the trade deadline. Who knows? But yeah, we'll just get excited about these young guys. That at least let that tide you over for the miseries that you suffer when you see a Giants loss. Let's see what we got. Los, didn't see you in there. How you doing, buddy? You're Dr. Los, Greg. You got to listen to Dr. Los. All right, you got to follow the prescription. Let's see. Yeah, Mark. Why not strike early? Why not? You're going to have the way that this particular season is playing out. You've got a lot of parity in the National League. And if you're going to compete, strike early. That's what Texas did. You know, they got a solid back of the bullpen guy to finish out games for them. So yeah, go for it. Everyone knows what the Giants' problem is. It's starting pitching, and these damn injuries, man. I don't know. You might have to make a trade for an outfielder, to be honest with you. I was saying starting pitching, I mean, that's still the priority, but the secondary is probably going to be some outfield help. Let's look at what we got here. We got Slater, who's doing okay, but again, he's nursing a hammy. You got Yastrzemski's back, but he's going to be nursing that hammy the rest of the season. And the same thing for Conforto. Conforto's swinging a decent power bat. You know, he's not really hitting for average. His average is kind of, but he's nursing a hamstring. Who else are you going to have? You got Matos. He's a young guy. He's still, feeling it out. He could come around, and, be putting up some more productive numbers. But, we might need another outfielder. These injuries are killing the Giants. Bring up Harrison, Wisenhunt, and Bart to back up Bailey. Then move Sable to DH and Jock to the bench. I like that, AB. Yeah, why not? Why not move Jock to the bench and make Sable your DH? You can't, right? At this point, I think, can you guys agree that, having Sable's bat in the lineup is, I wouldn't complain. That's something I would want to see every day. I agree with you, AB. Wisenhunt, I think he needs a little bit more time. I think he will show up eventually here this season. Don't know when. Harrison immediately, I agree. Wisenhunt on the future. Bring up Bart to back up Bailey, and then move Sable to the DH. Just wondering what moves need to be done. Maybe just that because the infield's hurting. You got with Estrada going down. So yeah, I don't know. Because you can't. You could put Schmidt at second, and you could put Crawford at short, but Crawford's now dealing with a side issue from that last game in New York, and you can't keep throwing him out. He's a guy that needs his rest. So they definitely need a middle infielder, someone who's going to do shortstop or second base, on the bench to make up for that. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. You're going to have to look at the roster because I don't know what kind of moves can be made to bring up Bart to be that backup. Because of the outfield. I mean, because I could see that happen. I could see you make a move for Bart, and then all of a sudden you got Conforto, Yaz, or Slater going down for a hammy. I don't know. I mean, that's tough. This is what happens when you sign guys who have injury-prone history. Come on. Talked about that yesterday. I don't want to talk about it again. Yeah, he's not ready yet, Pete. I agree. Whisenhunt still needs some time. I want to see him perform a little bit more in AA, a few more outings, and then bring him up to AAA. AAA is kind of like your holding pattern. AA is where you're making your name. Oh, yep, he's ready to come up, but we just got to wait for a spot to come out. So we throw you into AAA, and it's your holding pattern until that spot opens up, which eventually it will probably will, and then you bring the guy up. Meckler, there you go. Maybe. Now you're making me think. Maybe you don't have to trade for an outfielder. Maybe you just bring him back. But man, you gotta get. The problem is when you want to do a playoff run, you gotta have guys that can do it in the playoffs. Who knows what it's like to do a playoff run? It's kind of unfair to put a rookie into that position. But hey, if they can handle themselves, go for it. Because I think Meckler, he's really proven himself. Isn't he hitting close to 400 in AA? I'm pretty sure it's right about there. Hey, Red, thank you. Good point. Dan was talking about Ramos earlier today. He's back up at AAA. I think he went 2 for 3. Maybe he's another guy that you can bring up. He's still young. He's only 23 years old. He kind of was scuffling earlier this season, but he was probably battling that oblique. Yeah, I bet you he was hurting even before they put him on the IL for that oblique. So, yeah, that's a good point. Ramos could be another guy that you want to bring up. And look who's back.
Hey.
You're only 12 minutes late.
I know. We got talking. They're talking Giants there, and I was kind of going on and on about different options they may have and what they got to do. But I got to send Larry. I'm going to send him the link so that he may join us, and Baller may come over too.
Oh, look who just joined! Nice.
All right, there he is.
Bring him in.
Go ahead.
The man, the myth, the legend, Los, also known as Dr. Los, but he only plays one on TV. All right. But hey, real quick before we get into this, Robert, yes, Jock is playoffs is money, but you know what? I don't know if I could say that now. He's not having the same season. It's the same thing where it's almost the same point that you're making about AAA stats. You can't say that about what Jock may do in this postseason. You got to get to the postseason. And even if you get there, the way Jock is playing right now is kind of been underwhelming, to say the least.
Definitely. He's hey,
Los, I think you're muted. I don't hear you talking.
I'm kind of, my feeling on the thing with Jock is if I can get somebody good for Jock, whether that be a starting pitcher that could be a 4th or 5th pitcher in the rotation, or a really, really good prospect that looks like, better than average, is going to make the big club and at some point and be a contributor. I'm trading Jock, and I've said all along that Blake Sable is a guy that could be your DH. We saw Blake tonight go yard twice straight away to center field. He's got major pop in that bat, and he's shown, he can hit with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Both home runs were with 2 strikes. When he starts getting better and better, seeing, more and more major league pitching, kid's 25. So that's my take on the thing. But I told you guys for a while that this team is, baseball goes through streaks. Anything can happen. You're seeing it with injuries, and they're getting depleted to the point where, you know, they're kind of coming up on the All-Star game on fumes.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, real
getting-
quick, check out these standings, Dan. Speaking of, I mean, you're going to have to do something. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams really in the hunt. You got a 3-way tie for the third spot.
Can you blow it up a little bit there?
Blow it up more. All right, hold on.
All you got to do is go
I
to
got
the
it.
ESPN site and just.
How's that?
There we go.
Is that too
Can
much?
you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yep, got you now. There we go.
Okay, so the Marlins, Dodgers, Giants are tied with Milwaukee. Okay, so Milwaukee, Cincinnati,
Reds, Phillies is 1 game behind.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's
well, one of those teams, the Brewers and Reds, you can figure will win the division. So you're fighting against
one of those teams.
One of those teams. So you've got one. You're really fighting 2 teams for 1 spot. It looks like.
Yeah, with the Phillies. I tell you what, though, we were talking about this earlier in the chat. They were asking what moves should we make, and I'm still dead set. Primarily is a starting pitcher, but secondarily, I mean, you got to think about this outfield. We got a lot of guys who got some cranky hamstrings, and we're one like sudden stop away from losing another outfielder for months. So maybe we need to make a deal for an outfielder.
You may have to make a deal for an outfielder. You know, Matos looks like really good out in center field, plays great defense. I didn't like the idea that they moved him to right yesterday and put Bryce Johnson in center. I said it yesterday. Johnson's more of a veteran. Matos is totally comfortable in center field. He's 21. He's got not only worry about, you know, defense playing in his natural position, you know, but he's got to worry about, you know, hitting and focusing on his hitting. He's up. Don't put him in a position that makes him have to see the ball differently. Bryce Johnson's been playing different positions in the minors. Leave the kid alone. You know, just quit playing, trying to, you know, get cute with everything. And you know, you got cute with the Stripling taking him out because the script said, you know, after 2 innings that Stripling was going to come out and Wood was going to come in. Well, don't manage the stinking game before the game starts. Manage it during the game. Look at the eye test. You can see that.
And how about this? Exactly. And Rothberg, Kepler can only utilize the player. Even when he has the players, he didn't utilize them. Hey, Los, earlier I was talking about this. You can't throw Conforto out there in the 8th inning yesterday for 1 at-bat, but but he's miraculously well enough to take 4 at-bats in today's game as a DH. You had an opportunity to really do some damage with Conforto taking an at-bat with the bases loaded.
That's when you utilize a hitter off the bench in a premier situation like that.
Yes.
Here's an idea, guys. What do you think about maybe trading for a run-producing, power-hitting first baseman?
I know you're.
That'll free up Lamont Wade to be more of a floater. He can play outfield, which you just said we kind of need because we got a lot of hamstring guys, and he's a good outfielder. And he could play first base here and there, maybe even be a late inning defensive replacement. But
talking about Goldschmidt,
yep,
he's one guy. He's definitely one guy. I mean, I've said on record, Lamont Wade's having a great year. He's their best option as a leadoff hitter, but they need runs and they need guys that can drive in runs.
That's a good point.
So you know, everybody's talking about, and we've always talked about starting pitching, which they need, or maybe an outfielder, but. A first baseman, a thumper, which is what first basemen usually do, is not a bad call.
That's a good point because, like you said, you could put Wade out to the outfield, so that kind of could solve an outfield issue.
Yeah,
and he's healthy. I don't think he's not a tight back every so often, but I don't think
he's got a tight back. He played well tonight in the field. Made some really good stops down at first base. I think you know, helping getting a bat like that in the lineup could really help solidify. That was Haniger's role, what it was supposed to be. But, you know, you look at some of the guys out there that who was the guy I told you the other day better than Haniger would have been? Who was it, Romo?
Oh, you just, oh my God. Oh, Tommy Pham.
Oh, Tommy Pham. Yeah, I said Tommy Pham.
He's having a good year.
Yeah, he's killing it with and he plays left field. He's from the right side. He's got some pop. I mean, probably wouldn't be able to have him and Jock on the same team, but maybe you kind of the old saying, kill two birds with one stone. You move Jock for something and you get Tommy Pham in here in the lineup, and it doesn't cost you as much as a Goldschmidt.
And this is a great point by Justin. Talking about the Cardinals, they're probably just want to dump his salary. So just take on the Giants could take on that salary. Don't have to give up any major prospect.
Yeah, what's Goldschmidt making?
How much longer is he signed for?
Yeah,
next year. I'll look it up right here. I'll look it up on
because that's one thing that the Giants have is the money bags.
While you're doing that, Danny, were they mentioning anything on Larry's channel about possible trades, or was it all basketball stuff?
I was talking a little bit of trade stuff. I think they're probably wrapped that up. Yeah, I know Eric or Baller over there. He says he played with Jock in high school. He doesn't want to give him up.
He's got personal bias.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah,
and I understand it, but Goldschmidt is signed through next year, 26,000. That's very reasonable. If they took
26 million.
Yeah, I mean million. Yeah,
that would be awesome. 20.
Yeah,
sign me up.
Yeah, 26 mil for. Hey, hold on one second. I'm going to mute my mic. I got to yell. I got to get some water. I'm thirsty.
Yep. What do we got here? Robert, again, it's difficult to speculate on these trades, but that's what you do. I mean, you got to improve the team.
Well, I mean,
the existing team isn't going to.
If they do get Goldschmidt at 26 million, but they come off of Jock at 19, they're only 7 million down, and maybe get a pitcher out of it for Jock. So
yeah,
give me a starting pitcher and Goldschmidt at first all day.
I'm gonna tell you something right now.
Sable is raking as a left-handed hitter.
He is.
He could be your DH here and there. Be all right.
I talked to Dan about this earlier, Los. There is no reason, and I brought this up to the chat. There's no reason why Harrison should not be called up already. With the pitching woes that the Giants have as far as the starting rotation, now you got DeSclafani going on a 15-day DL with a fatigued right shoulder. There is no excuse for not to bring up Harrison.
You would think it would be a no-brainer. Why?
Exactly.
Why would you not?
Unless they're manipulating a roster, his service time. I don't know.
No, that service time thing I think is over in May, right? Like
once they go. If he exceeds 60 days of 60 days of service time, then he can't qualify to be Rookie of the Year next year, and that could get the Giants missing out on a draft pick. It's dumb.
Seattle actually got an extra first-round pick in this year's draft. It's like and it was even a little better than the last pick. It's like the 29th pick because they took Julio Rodriguez last year, had him start, and he won Rookie of the Year. And so I think that's there could be some colluding going on here.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So Peter Zimmer asks, what are the chances of getting
I saw that.
Bellinger? That's a possibility. That is a possibility.
Why didn't they get him in the off season? Come on.
Well, they wouldn't pay the extra couple million, I guess.
$18 million. That was it. $1 million less than what you're paying Jock. Man.
Eric going crazy here.
Golly, man.
Is Goldschmidt the only real guy out there at first base on a bad team right now that we can think of?
All right, Mark Hope. A young guy that might be available. I don't know if the Tigers are willing to give up on Spencer Torkelson, but he was not doing that great. Number one draft pick just a couple years ago from Petaluma. Maybe
never know. Change of scenery.
Bring him home, and maybe he feels a different connection and misses Mama's home cooking. I don't know what the heck. But
Hey, the Giants have a history of bringing guys in that are really struggling with other teams, and they get here, and that Bay Area fog hits them, and they just start invigorating. Pat Burrell, one example.
Yeah.
Guy was released by the Rays, and he comes here, and he's our number 4 hitter back in the day. So,
Yeah.
that's not a bad call. Torkelson's a talented hitter. Just maybe it's not working for him over there.
yeah, I mean, they do definitely need. They need a. I mean, I suggested Los, and I don't know if it's a suggestion or just a possible idea. Not sold on it, but I was looking up Matt Williams yesterday. 693 at bats. He batted 198. Now he came up as a 21-year-old, but after 3 years at 693 at bats, hitting 198. The following year's fourth year, he hits like 276, 277, hits like 30 home runs. All of a sudden, took him a while to develop, figure out the curveball. Joey Bart's had less than 500 big league at bats. He's played in 158 big league games. Matt Williams played in 220 his first 3 years. Bart over 2020, 21, 22. This is his fourth season that he's had some major league experience. I think in 21, there was just a quick little song and a dance because Buster was up. But he's had less than 500 at bats. He's only 26. He used to hit a lot of bombs. He's got 20 plus home run power. Something is kind of a miss. And why not maybe bring up Bart to be the second catcher that catches 1 or 2 games a week, and Bailey's your primary catcher. And Bart plays first base when you're facing a lefty.
I was just gonna say, how about that out of the box thinking and have Bart take some more ground balls?
Yeah,
and,
Bart can play first base. He's a big target over there.
He's a big kid, 6'4".
Yeah, so you have a nice target when you're throwing from the left side of the diamond, that long throw. And he's a catcher, so he knows how to scoop and move. Because what I'm thinking is, don't you think you get more for Flores than you could Bart right now?
Ooh, I don't know.
I think a contending team would love a Wilmer Flores. He's kind of like that guy that is
he's your clutch bench guy.
Yeah, he's your clutch bench.
You'll definitely get more for Jock than you will.
I tell you what, Dan, we just found a perfect selling point for this channel. Will Martinez says Barry Bonds worked with Blake Sable today and gave him some tips. And what do you know? 2 home runs tonight. Now, I don't know where his sources are. I'm waiting for his sources. But who said this?
Me.
It was heard on NorCal Sports Network from Los D. That guy right there.
And there were some people in the chat that were
get it right.
there were some people in the chat that were pushing back on that. Oh, why would Bonds do that? What?
We could say that Barry Bonds heard it on NorCal that he needs to be talking to these hitters. There we go, Dan. You got it.
Yeah.
Hey, Barry, give me a call, man. I got a whole bunch of other stuff for you. Yeah, really.
Why can't he be working with these hitters? Next thing you know, we hear now. Will, you gotta? Oh, Sable mentioned it in his post game.
Exactly.
Love it.
I mean, it's not that difficult of a concept. I mean,
didn't he do that last year with somebody
too? Choke up. Hold on. Did he choke up? Did Sable choke up today?
Oh, if he did, I'm taking credit for it.
I'm taking credit for that too, man. I've been I had a rant. I put Jeff McNeil's picture up there yesterday on the chat.
I'll split it with you, Danny. You get the choke up and I get the Barry Bonds.
Okay.
He's joking. But you know what?
Joking.
I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna go look.
He said he's joking. He didn't. I don't think he choked up.
No, but I mean, it just makes sense. Like, if Tony Gwynn was still alive and he's Mr. Padre, you don't think that he would be, maybe not necessarily as a full-time batting coach, but you don't think he would be in there like talking to Padre hitters and saying, this is what you look for. You know, there's so much baseball is a mental game, guys. It is a very, very mental type of game. And nobody recognized pitches better than Mr. Bonds. He's right up there. tiny little tendencies the pitchers do. I know these guys aren't as talented as Barry Bonds. Who the hell is? It's the mental side of it. You're missing the point. So if he worked with Sable, other guys should be talking to him. And it doesn't have to be just left-handed hitters. Hitting is hitting. So talk to that man. He has a wealth of knowledge. Why the hell not? The end.
No way.
Dr. Los has spoken.
So, yeah, I gotta think. Here's a couple things that
He's choking up. It's not a big choke up, but he's choking up.
Hey, and he
like with on the bat or like
On the bat. Yeah, he's
Oh,
got
he's not-
he's got maybe about an inch off the knob of the bat. That's what it looks like. I'm trying to get a better look, but that's what it looks like.
he kind of struggled behind the plate tonight. He whiffed on a pitch. He just kind of missed on went right off the glove for a pass ball. It ended up leading to a run, but a lot of people were all over him and then he hit the 2-run homer. And I put out in some comment on some Giants group on Facebook, hey, want to give me? He gives me 2 runs and gives up a run. I'll take that. Gives up 2 runs and gives me 4 runs. I'll take that. Little did I know he was going to only give up the 1 run, but he knocked in all 5 runs tonight. He's past Jock when it comes to home runs. He's now at 10 or 9. Is he at 9? I think he's at no. Let's wait. He hit one yesterday and 2 tonight. He's at 10. Blake Sable.
Can
Is it-
I play a video without sound? Right?
Blake
What-
Sable is approaching Peterson's numbers if he hasn't passed them already.
He's already passed him in home runs. He's got 9.
What does that tell you? At what, 600K? What a bargain.
Yeah, see, Senior says it too. He looks
No,
like
he's got
choked
10.
up.
He's got 10.
He's got 10.
He hit one yesterday for number 8, and then he hit 2 tonight.
Oh, okay. So it
Hey,
was 9
me
and 10
and
today.
Danny saw that in spring training.
We
said-
did.
we-
I got laughed at by a lot of people that are with the Giants club. As far not the Giants club, but I'm not going to name any names. But people told me I was nuts for saying that Blake Sable was going to make the club out of spring training
Yeah,
because
I remember.
they said, you know, he can't catch. Where are you going to put him? I go, he's a Rule 5 guy, and
They'll find a
his
spot.
they love his bat, and I love his bat. I can see talent. He's fast. I talked to him. I could tell by talking to him that he had a ton of confidence in himself, and that he knew he belonged. And I love that about him. And so,
Can I play this without a sound though? I think we're fine with that, right?
what
As
is
long
it?
as
The
there's no
home run?
sound. Yeah.
Hey, Dan, you make sure you tell Larry you have Purdy and I got Sable
Yeah.
about coming out of nowhere.
Because you played
call.
that one with no sound with what's his name catching that center field, right? Matos.
Yeah. I mean, you can.
I'm not
do
going to have
the-
no sound. There'll be no sound whatsoever.
Mark
I
Hope
think we're
with a
good on
good
that.
Mark
All
Hope
right.
with a good super chat.
All right,
Yeah,
here we
let's-
go. Let me do this. Yeah, I see that.
That makes
If I hear it
sense.
down, I'm going to mute it really quick.
Yeah, well, there ain't gonna be no sound. You can see how it's muted right there.
Yeah.
Here we go. Can you see it? It's hard to maybe oh, they're probably not going to have a damn replay. Let's see.
He wasn't choking up on that one.
He was choking up. You'll see it. It's
He
hard to
was?
see because he swung. See?
Oh yeah.
He had about
was.
an inch. He's got about an inch right there. You see it? He's got a little bit of choke up on that.
You know, it's not a big deal.
There it is.
Players.
There it is. Right there. You could see there's about an inch from the bottom of his pinky to that knob.
Good call.
Wow.
You think Jock would choke up?
No.
Yaz? I think if Yaz choked up, he could be a solid 275, 285 hitter.
Oh, okay.
With a little power.
I didn't know that if that's how he always swung. Okay. He does
Yeah,
always choke up.
yeah, I think he does a little bit. I'd have to
But I
listen
like-
to my I just love the fact that he's 25. You look at the lineup tonight, there was 4 rookies back to back to back to back. It was Sable, Wisely, or Mato, Sable, Wisely, and Schmidt. You know, when they get to full, I mean, I don't think the Haniger injury has really held them back that much because
No.
Slater can do what Haniger. I mean, Slater doesn't have the power that Haniger does, but Haniger wasn't showing it. It's quite possible that Haniger does come back toward the last part of the season. We'll see. I just got to think that so I look at this team, you're going to have these ups and downs. And I kind of predicted they'd be flat tonight. And they were. I predicted a 3-1 win for the Giants because I thought Logan needed to be the ace, and he really didn't get very good luck. I mean, he only had the 2-run homer for support while he was in the game. Giants bats have not done hardly anything since the last homestand. When they went to Toronto, they got barely scored. Against the Mets, they didn't look good. They won the one game. So everything can be is if all of a sudden you win 4 of your next 5, okay? Just somehow win 4 of your next 5 on this homestand. Go into the break 50-40. Get yourself mentally, checked out. Get some time off. Get the front office figuring, okay, we got a plan. We're 50-40. We're right in the thick of the race. We've got 72 games to go, and we're going to regroup and figure out what this club truly needs. So Greg says, I'm daydreaming. Dan, I'm dreaming. They're playing the Rockies. If they can't beat the Rockies 2 out of 3 and should sweep them, they should be able to win, 1 of the next 3 or 2 against Seattle, if not win them both. Giants, I knew this was going to be a really, really tough game. And
that's a brutal 24-hour turnaround.
Yeah, they didn't even, I heard Dave Fleming say he didn't even get to bed till 5:30. Remember, I told you guys it was going to be 4:30. Well, they were an hour later than I projected because they got home. They got home later than I thought they might.
Yeah.
It was brutal, and I expected them to be flat tonight, and they were.
Yeah, let them get healthy. I mean, they're not the most talented, deepest team to begin with, so they're going to get hit by these injuries harder than a deeper team. So let them get healthy. Let them get through the break. Boy, they need it. And, hopefully they pull off some kind of a deal to tinker with the lineup and the pitching staff.
They're going to have to let the sun shine and the fact they're at home tomorrow get them through it because they're still recovering and it's a day game after a long, road trip. So the schedule makers really screwed them up. I mean, ESPN,
big time.
I mean, Giants should have had the choice of saying, no, we'll decline that. We'll decline being on national TV. You already have West Coast bias out there anyway. Just get us out of the, they could have been on a flight at 7:00 at night had the game been a normal game, and they could have been home at 9:00 last night and in their beds by midnight, right? That, to me, I don't know if the Giants have a say in it or not, but I would think a team has a say in the schedule when they got to travel cross country. I mean, the Mets traveled cross country to Arizona, but they didn't play today.
Here you go.
Yep. Got Carlo P going to watch the River Cats in Salt Lake
Yeah,
tomorrow.
exactly. And made in USA. It was nauseating. There's just Mets. I mean, it was just like I almost videotaped the beginning intro of all the Met highlighted players they were showing versus the Giants. I could have swore it was like 2-1. It was just getting nuts. It's like the East Coast bias of media. It's just like, here the Mets suck. And all they did is talk about how this team is underperforming and they're stressed out and they're, just Mets. I mean, there were some good things said about the Giants and Patrick Bailey, and a little bit about Sable, but not much about anything else. So
I see the Greg Rothberg and the Robert Dayton therapy lasted all of an hour yesterday, and they're back to being their usual ways. That's quite disappointing in both of you, gentlemen. I expected more from you. More than 1 hour. Come on, guys, step it up.
Yeah, what do we name him? Robert Daytonberg?
Robert Daytonberg.
Daytonberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. I expected Greg to be a little more optimistic and Robert to tone it down a little bit, but
it should be Gregbert.
Yeah.
F the Giants. Oh my God, this guy. I could say not 100%, but Scott Boras being his agent, I will say 98% chance that he'll opt out.
Hey, Greg, I hope you're not like betting on these games, and that's why you're so pissed off when the Giants lose. I know how that could be sometimes, but
come on, Robert. We're halfway through the season. How can you keep saying Stripling and Mania will prove their worth? The season is halfway over. They're supposed to be starting pitchers, and they've been relegated to the bullpen.
Well, I'll say this about Stripling. I think he has the potential to be a starter that can help the team.
Decent. I agree.
And last night, I'm still ticked off about the fact that they had some stupid plan.
Yeah, it was according to plan. So then why did Kapler say that on the live broadcast then?
Yeah, I don't know. Does Kapler thinking he's like thinking I don't want to alert the enemy on national TV that they'll get word that I'm getting ready to pull him out the next inning. Like Buck Showalter is going to like shaking his boots and go, oh my gosh, what do I do now? They're bringing in Alex Wood. I think Buck Showalter thought when he saw all those moves Kapler made, he was like, it's a game of chess, and I made a move he had a move for every move that Kapler made, so. Failed Greg and Robert. My prescriptions must be revisited. Oh, that's great. No, I just think the fact that he pitched 24 innings, I can't stand when managers manage the game before it started and they don't let it play out. I mean, it's like the guy who's okay. We're only going 7 innings with our starter and we'll go to our bullpen. And the guy's throwing a perfect game and he's only thrown 75 pitches, after 7. And you're going to go, I'm going to yank him because the plan was he's not going to go through the order a 4th time, or whatever. He's gone 6 innings, perfect game. And now they're coming up the 3rd time around the order. And he's like, he doesn't do well. I'm going to pull him. To me, just let the game dictate your moves. Don't let the stuff on paper dictate your moves before it starts. That is just the dumbest way to manage. It cost the Tampa Bay Rays Game 5 in the World Series when Blake Snell was dealing and he had the Dodger hitters completely off balance all night long. And when they took Snell out, the Dodgers, all of a sudden, they said it themselves. They go, we felt like a spark on the bench, like we got a shot now. And, it. You've been in dugouts, right, Los, when a pitcher's dealing and you're like, shoot, we can't touch this guy today.
Yeah, can't wait to get him out of there. Please take him out.
And you're just hoping he gets out because you're going up to the plate and I mean, there are times when you go up to bat and you're overmatched and you're just like, I got to figure a way just to get the ball in the bat. I know I can't drive it. I just got to hit it and hope it goes somewhere where they ain't. And that's that happens to major leaguers too. When a guy's dealing stuff and it's so wicked, you're just like, crap, what am I going to do?
I think Keaton Winn and Stripling, both have the potential to be okay in the second half.
My rotation is Webb, Wood, Webb, Winn, Cobb, those three, Stripling 4, and I guess out of default for right now, if you're not going to bring up Harrison, I got to go with probably Alex Wood because I think Alex Wood gives you 5 innings almost all the time that are pretty decent. It's after the 5th that he's going to get rocked. And so you just kind of count on it. Sometimes Wood will give you 6 innings if he's mowing them down and those guys aren't coming up all for the 3rd time, So I think Wood gives you the best chance because, and I'm glad they put DeSclafani on the IL. I put a tweet out there yesterday about it. I said, if he's tired, either put him in the bullpen or better yet, put him on the IL and bring a fresh arm up because even Kruko today commented on DeSclafani's comments about being tired. He says that's kind of stuff you keep in the clubhouse. You don't report that.
He said that?
Yes, he told
Wow.
the beat. That's how it all came out.
Wow.
He told the beat writers Saturday after his shellacking that
I was fatigued.
I'm just tired right now, and I'm feeling fatigued. And Kruko, ex really good pitcher, says, yeah, we all get tired at times, but you don't let the press know that because it not only has it kind of has a bad effect on the clubhouse. Kruk said it makes the clubhouse go, geez, well, we're tired too, but we're out here pushing and kicking and
it's a very white flag type of kind of giving up excuse type of thing.
That's a guy that I don't want on my ball club.
I was going to say, Danny, that's a tradable offense right there. That remark.
That becomes almost in terms of government, that almost becomes treason. When you are quitting because you say you're tired to the press, it sounds like an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like an excuse because
you suck.
You stink, right?
Yeah.
So to me, I put him on the IL. I bring him back at the end of the July. He's 15 days, so that's going to push him till we're July 3rd today. So he went on the IL today, July 3rd. So he's eligible to come off the 18th. I get him in a game, whether it's in the bullpen, and I showcase him a couple games, and I trade him. I trade him and say, guy's a pitcher, and I get rid of him. I don't want a guy like that on my ball club.
He's in year 2 or 3 of a 3-year deal.
Three,
thankfully.
This is his 3rd year.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try to trade him, and if there's no takers, I wouldn't be shocked if he's cut. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't
need guys on the team like that. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. That's a crap excuse.
It really is. It really is. And it's
put Winn in. I like Keaton Winn in better anyway. I like his stuff better. He battles.
Oh yeah, and he's young, and so it looks like in the chat maybe Larry might be coming to an end, which I did send him the link to.
Look what Senior said.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's what I was saying in the chat. I see that. Am I echoing?
No,
No,
you're
good.
playing.
Okay.
I'm hearing Kruger talk.
Are you really?
Well, not no more.
Oh,
And
okay.
Did you invite him to come over, Danny?
Yeah, I told him he's welcome to come over. We'll see. I'm glad I didn't wait for his show to end. It's 10:50. I would have been. I got back in
Yep.
here at 10 after. He started at
9:15.
yeah. The plan was to start at 9, and then when the Giants game ended, we'd come over here, which would have been about 9:30. I would have started it, but maybe 9:35, 9:40. Give it 40 minutes over there. But he's gone. I don't know how long he's going. He started 9:15. He's gone. Yeah, over an hour and a half. Yeah.
What senior asked? What are our plans for the 4th?
Yep.
Well, I can tell you, me and Danny are probably going to stay in our air-conditioned homes.
Yeah.
Comfortable. It's pretty damn hot down here, man.
Yeah. Let me see if I can ask Siri what the temperature is right now.
Well, it's beautiful over here right now.
Yeah. Wifey wanted me to barbecue tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, I'll barbecue around 9 a.m.
I barbecued yesterday and the day before.
I just barbecued tonight some chicken. Yeah. Hey Siri, what's the temperature outside right now?
I'm going to guess 96.
It's about 96 degrees outside.
Man, I'm good.
You've nailed it. He's on a roll.
I'm on a roll.
Hey,
Barry
guys.
giving tips and Paxson from the Red Sox coming to the Giants.
If you get that one right, that would be good. Paxson, I would like to have Paxson.
Paxson.
But do you guys agree that Farhan should strike early and not be waiting around? Not
Yes.
be Johnny come lately?
Yes.
Yes,
Absolutely.
he should strike early.
Yeah. Do
Sometimes
it.
we-
Do it.
Okay, here's a question. Do you think he will strike early?
No.
No.
No. He'll wait. It's kind of like, a house going on the market, but it's not quite on in public. The public doesn't know about it. It's kind of on the down low. Write an offer. Get it in. Get it done before it gets out to everybody. If you wait to the last minute and you're trying to get Paxson, there's going to be about 6 or 7 other teams that are going to be offering probably more. And what is the Giants' MO? They are the silver medalist of professional baseball, always coming in second, getting players, free agents, trades, whatever. So do it early so you don't have as much competition. Come on, Dr. Los is on a roll, man.
There you go. Hey, Senior, you live in Davis, right? That's only about 45 minutes for me. I think I'm gonna have to make a road trip tomorrow, man. Guys, packing and smoking some ribs.
Okay, Bleacher Report just put something out a couple hours ago. Some outrageous. This is just fun stuff. Marcus Stroman to the Reds.
Ooh, that would be a good move for them.
Yep.
I would prefer, go after a guy like Stroman because in some ways, and don't give up. You might not have to give up a lot because of his high salary. So you may be able to. Oh, Mike Trout leaves game. Angels out after swinging bat receives X-rays on wrist. Well, if he goes down, that could be.
Oh boy, yeah.
That could mean Ohtani gets traded.
Yep.
Salvador Perez to the Padres. I heard the Padres ownership group say,
yeah, the chairman.
We're not. Did you tell me that, Eric? Or
yeah, I sent you the link of.
Okay, that was it. Yeah, that they're not going to sit idly by. They're going to continue to go for it. No change of plans. So that would be interesting. Here's another trade. Goldschmidt to the Angels is what Bleacher Report is throwing out.
What?
They're just
Yeah.
Oh, they're throwing out.
They're just throwing out stuff. Soto and Blake Snell to the Yankees. Boston calls it quits. San Francisco goes all in. Oh, that's the one where they say, how about Verdugo, Garrett Whitlock, who's a pretty decent pitcher, and James Paxton for Harrison and Mason Black. That's a tough one. I don't know.
That's steep.
Let's bring in. We got some intro.
Hey. Keeping it rolling.
He's lazy.
Keeping it rolling. July 3rd, 5 minutes to 11. What's going on, fellas?
It's going.
Hey, look at the chat went from 58 to 64. No, wait a minute. It went from
I told everybody, I
700.
said, come on over here and let's hit like and subscribe over at Danny's channel, and let's see if we can build up the numbers of people in the room and subscribers. Where are we at subwise?
Last I checked, it was about 540-ish.
541.
Is it 541?
Yep.
All right. Hey, we're
Slowly
even,
but surely.
We're even getting some stickers now, some super chats.
Look at that. You've eclipsed your hours.
Yeah, we've clipped our hours, the subs, and views. Yeah.
Now we just got to hit that. What is it? That 1,000 subscribers to get the ad monetization. That's the big one right there.
Yeah, if you get the ad monetization, that would help.
Working on it.
Slowly
hey,
but surely.
John Benoit says, "You're all lazy." Yeah.
Y'all lazy. Well, there
Hey,
we go.
Mark Hope.
Mark Hope.
Larry, why don't you have a Giants flag up? He says.
Oh,
I know. I got to get my Giants flag.
You gotta have some balance in there, my friend.
Well, I do a lot of Niners. I do a lot of Niners stuff for
Look,
sure.
I know you do, but I know you love your baseball.
I got
I got to get some Giants. I got a bunch of Giants stuff. I should probably put something up.
I got my Warriors stuff right there.
Just one little bobblehead or something.
I got my
and
Giants stuff.
You're satisfied.
Back
wait
there.
a second. Did I hear that Larry Krueger does 49er stuff? No.
I got Niners stuff. A lot of Niners stuff. People have sent me a lot of Niners flags. I got all
I
those
got
have been
that same
sent.
flag, Larry, look.
Look at you.
There it is.
But do you have one of these in your office?
What's that?
No.
Is that
Buster.
a dog?
Kleenex, a
Hey,
Kleenex.
Buster boy. Hey, you doing, buddy?
Did you tell Buster?
Even the dog is lazy.
Hey, and here
Oh,
comes
now
Buster.
they're coming in.
Hey, guys. They're not supposed to be in here. That's why they're laying at the.
Oh, I was going to say they looked like they were banned from the room almost.
Yeah, I don't let them. Hey, go on, get out. Go
Why?
down
It's because the
aisle.
carpet's fresh.
Yeah, it's new carpet, Brent. Hey, go on, Buster. Out.
They kind of looked like, hey, there's a perimeter here, but I'm going to push the envelope by having my snout go over the
Good
line.
boy. Hey, Faith. Go on, Faith. Go on.
I don't think Warrior news is too big right now with the almighty Greg Joseph coming on board.
Who do you got there?
The Warriors.
Oh,
The
Corey
Warriors
Joseph.
signing, I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
don't-
I'm not getting what the Warriors are doing. We were just talking about. I was saying to Baller over on my channel, just what if the Padres are in a free fall? What if you think about this in stages? You make a trade, maybe you part with a Luciano type player, you get Soto, you use that Soto pursuit to kind of show Shohei you're all in. Use the Soto trade as a way to attract Ohtani, and then sign Ohtani, and then use the Ohtani signing as a lure to re-sign Soto. So you trade for Soto, you show Ohtani you're serious, you sign Ohtani, you turn around and you sign Soto. And now you've got all these prospects coming out of your system, and you got those two guys anchoring the middle of that lineup and shooting shots into McCovey Cove.
Yeah, it would probably take a trade to get Soto. I imagine if you tried this before this deadline, because he's a free agent after next year, right? Got one more year.
Right, he's got one more year. This guy says no way Padres trade in the division, but I mean, the Giants and Padres made the trade in '87. That was a
Huge
division trade.
7-player deal, yeah. I could, and they don't play as often anymore either. So I mean, if it helps both clubs, why not? I mean, I would think it would take somebody like Luciano, probably.
Luciano would be the centerpiece, right?
Yeah, Luciano would be the centerpiece. Maybe Reggie Crawford and Mason Black, something like that.
I mean, I would do that deal if I felt like it would help me get Ohtani.
I don't know if a lot of teams around the league are as high on Luciano as we think. Like, he's been down for a little while. He's just now starting to come around. I know he's got the niche as the number 1 or number 2 prospect, but he hasn't exactly been raking for the last year or two. So
No,
I don't know.
No, but
Well,
at
he
the
had
same
that
time,
back injury, but they really like his potential.
I would think Mason Black or Harrison might have a little bit more value for teams. I don't know. I could be wrong there.
I heard you guys talking about that Bleacher Report trade for Harrison. I don't know. I think Harrison and Wisenhunt are keepers.
Mhm.
I kind of feel that way too, because I think where the Giants are at right now reminds me a lot of the 2007 range, and then you had Lincecum come up right in what 07, and then Mad Bum in 2010, and those guys just kind of and then Kane was already there, and they became the kind of a three-headed monster, so to speak, and then you mixed and matched. You had Vogelsong in there, and then different years you had a veteran like Jake Peavy, and I think if you have the pitching to get you, if you have three really solid guys, Harrison seems like a 1. Whisenhunt's probably more like a 3. And this kid Mason Black,
he's got the body as a 1.
He's got a nice frame. Yeah, he's built. He's not no little guy.
I want innings. I'm tired of 5 or 6 innings every start. I want innings. So, all things considered, is a dominant lefty a little bit more value than a dominant righty as a starting pitcher?
Usually. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, the Giants have 2 of these lefties going to pitch in the futures game. All it takes is for one guy to have some dominating performance on, with everybody watching on TV, and suddenly it's like, hey, I'd like to have that guy. So, maybe when I saw that that Harrison and Whisenhunt were both in the futures game, I thought, wow, that seems interesting. 2 years in a row now for Harrison in the futures game. But those guys can't be far away from impacting the Giants at the major league level. I mean, the Giants' situation is so bizarre because they so desperately need starting pitching, but then you look at what they've done with these openers, and it's been really effective. So, do they or do they not need a lot of starting pitching? I don't know.
We're a little shocked that they haven't been called up yet with DeScalfani and Manea's.
And the way the starting pitching has been going, why not bring up Harrison? There's no excuse anymore.
Is there anybody in front of them? Carlo, is there anybody in front of the Harrison and Whisenhunt that we're not aware of? I mean, is Jelly considered in front of them, or is there anybody else down there that's considered to be more developed than those guys?
Just Black.
Wouldn't it just be the 40-man? That's the only reason why, is because Jelly's on a 40-man and they don't want to make that move. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not a Jelly fan.
Yeah, me neither.
I thought for a minute like he might be, coming at that high of an angle at 6'11", whatever he is that he. But
I'll tell you what Farhan's. Here's what Farhan's goal was this year. He looked at the depth of the starting pitching last year, and he figured out that over the course of a full season, you're looking at about 1,500 innings. Okay. 162 times 9 is 1,458. Throw in some extra inning games, you're close to 1,500. He's looking for those starters to eat. He's just looking for innings to be eaten up, not necessarily guys and that's why they have all these long men in their bullpen is made up of, look at how many guys that are actual starters. Tristan Beck's a starter. Manaya and Stripling are starters, and Junis is a starter. Junis started his whole career at Kansas City. So those are 4 starters, and then you throw in Keaton Wynn and Sean Jelly. That's like 6 guys that have been making up their bullpen.
And Tristan Beck.
So I mentioned Beck first. Yeah. So here's what he's doing. He's saying, I can just have all these guys just eat up these innings, and then we'll have our back of the bullpen guys that'll be just in for high leverage situations. Now, it works okay if they perform and if they're healthy, but DeScalfani's gone. We've seen what's his name? Stripling on the IL. We've seen Cobb out for a little bit. But
Wood on IL.
They got to make Stripling a starter and see what he can do, because you can't just keep throwing guys.
And win.
Well, my rotation right now would be simply, I would just go with Webb and Cobb Stripling, Keaton Wynn, and Alex Wood, just because what I mentioned earlier, Alex Wood's a guy that'll give you 5 innings, and he's also pissed off when he's coming out of the bullpen. He doesn't like coming out of the bullpen. He's made it known he doesn't want to be in the bullpen. Leave guys in there what they're used to. Minaya accepted the bullpen because he stunk as a starter and he's performed well, and he's like, okay, I got a new. Alex Wood does not like coming out of the bullpen. And the other thing is that I mentioned to you, this whole thing about managing a game before the game starts pisses me off. Ross Stripling threw 24 pitches last night, and it was his best 2 innings of the season, and he gets yanked because it was a plan before the game started. And
Like he's predetermined what he's going to do, no matter
exactly
what.
Manage the game as it progresses. Don't manage the game on paper like a computer, like it's
and react in real time.
Yeah.
You react in real time. You got to get okay. So you thought Stripling might be able to give you 1, might be able to give you 2. If all of a sudden your eyes are telling you he's giving you more, roll with it.
Exactly.
I'll say this too. I mean, sometimes every inning is not like every other inning as far as the difficulty. There are pitchers that get into a rhythm. When a pitcher's in a rhythm, don't ever fucking take him out.
Yep.
Ever. The season's eternal.
Yep.
I don't care if you thought you were going to get 2 pitches out of the guy. If all of a sudden he blows through the first, put him out there in the second. He blows through the second, make the other team hit him out of the game. This isn't little league with your 50 pitch count. Don't voluntarily take a guy out who's dealing just because you've got some itchy, scratch you need to scratch, or I need to be involved. I mean, come on. I have a plan, but have the ability to deviate off your plan if need be. You get the sense with Farhan or with Gabe that everything's just so formulaic, and it's like, I will do this. Okay, but now you got to the second, and Stripling, who didn't look good early, is now looking really good. I mean, this is the way baseball works. Some guys, wind up with a 4.30 ERA, and they're that good all year. Some guys have a 1.5 ERA half the year and then have a 7-point ERA in the second half of the year. So you have to adjust to what you see. And if a guy's rolling, stay with him. Stay with the guy that's rolling. I remember asking Dusty Baker about managing. And he's like, you know what? There's all kinds of philosophies on what to do here and what to do there and how to do all this stuff. At the end of the day, it really just comes down to you're trying to find and play the hot hand. And that's it. That's the job. Everything else is window dressing.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out of your guys who's got the hot hand and play the hot hand. That's it. If you're doing anything beyond that, you're overmanaging.
Well, he overmanaged the game last night. I mean, as Will Martinez says facetiously, but Larry, it was the computer said it was time. Exactly. I mean,
it's crazy. I mean, so what are we going to give the Tandy 5000 the Manager of the Year award? I mean,
I think the Giants will have the first artificial intelligence manager in baseball. They practically already have one.
Why not?
I mean, second inning is over. Says to bring in lefty. 2 left-handed batters are coming up this inning. Bring in Alex Wood.
Seriously.
In Alex Wood.
What are we? Who's the manager? Dan Aykroyd from Coneheads.
I mean, it's like it's just unbelievable. Like then I watched the game tonight, and I'm like, who in the heck is? I mean, I love Duvall, but he let the guy steal second base, and then he lets him steal third base. You got a guy on second. You're in the top of the 9th inning, and J.D. Davis is playing at the edge of the grass at third base, well off the line. And I'm thinking, shoot, there's no way this guy can steal third, even if there is a play, because he's going to beat J.D. Davis to the bag. And then Duvall looks into the mound, He never looks back at second. The guy gets a running start.
He just kept going.
Duvall's known for that, though.
Yeah,
He
I mean-
completely laser focuses on
Okay.
the batter. He does not hold on runners well at all. That's
I
the
mean,
hook
this
on
is
him.
this
A
is
lot of
the-
closers are like that. Rob Nen was like that, but come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll-
you know.
I love Blake Sable. You guys know I'm a big Blake Sable fan, but I bet you if Bailey was behind the plate, he would have called a timeout when he saw that lead. He would have said timeout, and he would have went out to the mound and said whatever in Spanish. Turn your freaking head around and take a look at this guy.
Baja la cabeza.
Jeez, unbelievable. I was just like, you're just gonna let this guy walk to third base? He didn't even have to run. He just he jogged to third base.
Yeah, the other problem we talked about.
I could have stole third base with my bad wheel.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
don't know,
JD
Danny.
Davis could have backpedaled.
If you had Johnny Rabb throwing, you might have been able to make it.
Yeah,
I mean, we did see Dan with that 40. Remember, he was demonstrating that.
Oh
that
yeah, that
40
was
time,
last
remember?
summer. Since
Yeah.
then, man,
during the dinner party.
Yeah,
That was classic. That was
it
classic.
was.
Walk from left to right across the screen. We'll check it.
Danny,
was
you got to
awesome.
record the Rich Eisen 40-yard dash one of these
geez.
years.
I'd have about 8 discs blowing my back,
Boom, 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 boom.
and I only have 7 probably.
No, but the problem we talked about with Farhan's philosophy of
Uh-oh.
keeping 13 or 14 pitchers, it just limits your bench. It limits what you can maneuver and do late game strategy. So I would love to them just have 5 solid starters that go decent innings and have about 7 bullpen guys, 12 guys and a 13-man bench. But we'll see. Those other guys need to step up.
Sorry about that. I fat fingered myself right out of the chat. That's when I'm hitting
So
buttons and I'm like, oh, boom, boom, boom. Oh,
Kyle,
what-
Kyle
just
McKiernan
checked it.
says, Dan, slow it down. You're good, but you're not taking that base.
yeah.
Danny, were you a base stealer back in the day when you did play?
I was, yeah.
I always wondered why there were no bases in that league.
I was
Dan
the
stole
leadoff.
them, took them home.
I was the leadoff hitter and played center field. I had wheels, believe it or not, back then. But I had this one guy. He was a good friend of mine. We went to high school together. I was playing Babe Ruth. I was 15. I thought he was catching. I thought I had a pretty good jump, but he nailed my butt, man. He got me. I was like, I got it.
I'll tell you, when I coached my son's juniors team, my oldest son played juniors. They were 13, 14, somewhere in that age. And I used to give I used to tell our guys, hey, look, we're going. We're going. If we don't make at least 3 outs on the base paths, I'm not going to be happy. I go, we're going first to third, we're going second to home. If I give you the sign, we're stealing. We're going to steal a lot. Tie up your shoes, tie them tight, be ready to run. Because I was just getting tired of watching my team get to first base, and then they'd be like, oh, I've arrived. It's like, no, you've arrived when you scored the run, right? not when you get to first base. So we used to have this. I used to give out a game ball, and I had game ball gifts at the end of the game for whoever had the most bases, total bases. And it wasn't total bases by hit. It was total bases, period. Anyway, walk was 1 base. Stealing second was number 2. You moved to third. So they kept track of every base. And these kids ran. It's hilarious. When you incentive, I gave them, we had 2 awards every game. Who hit the ball the hardest, whether it was foul or fair. It didn't matter to me if you hit it foul. You hit it foul and you hit it the hardest, you got the game ball. And then whoever had the most number of bases at the end of the game. And when you do this, when you incentivize the right way, they play the game the way you want it to be played with every other aspect of it. Guys, we want to tag up and we want to, you don't have to say all that crap if you just put an award out on whoever gets the most bases. These
so
guys
you're suggesting that Kapler should give out Twinkies and Ding Dongs for
yeah, Kapler ought to give out some prize to whoever has the most total bases in the game by any way
Twinkies and Ding Dongs.
imaginable.
Oh,
No, but it
my
really
God.
does. It puts you in a different mentality because you see it with little kids. They get a hit, and their hitting means so much to them that they're like,
Yep.
"Hey, I made it to first. I
Yep.
did it. I made it." No, no, no. You didn't do anything, and you haven't made anything. You do it and make it when you're sitting in the dugout having scored the run. So, so that's the way we did it, and it's amazing. Kids go up there swinging hard, and then they get to first base, and they're like taking huge leads, and then they're trying desperately to steal, and they get a base hit to center field, and they're on second base. They are scoring, and it's like that's that motivation, man. You got to have that motivation. So it worked at a little league level. There's no question that the Giants don't have a lot of speed, so that's one thing. Their problem. That's one issue they have. They don't have a lot of speed as a team.
Yeah. And Mark,
Danny, Danny, I'm always preaching about the mental aspect of baseball. It's such a mental
absolutely.
game. So
Absolutely.
I was a center fielder. I was a center fielder like you, playing for the infamous Steve Franceschi at Sacred Heart.
Oh,
So I didn't back up second once when a guy was stealing. I didn't back up second. This is an exhibition game, but still, nevertheless, I didn't back up second. He stops the game and runs right out to center field, yelling at me.
choose you a new one.
Carlos, are you a fucking plant? What? Are you a fucking plant? No, I had to call him sir. You had to call Coach sir. No, sir, I'm not. Well, you might as well be one because plants don't move. I'm going to come out here and water you. You fucking back up second base every time when the guy's still second. Never did it again.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
By
tough
the
love.
by the way, we played. Tell me this is my moral dilemma question for you guys.
Yeah.
We're playing. My 14-year-old's playing an all-star tournament. We beat this team from wherever, Albany or something like that. We're playing a team from Oakland. Okay. They've got two teams. They got Oakland North, Oakland South. Well, they combined their two teams for the postseason, and they had a squad. I mean, they were good, really good, right? And they're up. I get to the game. My kids' team's already losing 15-0. All right. And all the kids on their team look like they could play in the big leagues. I mean, seriously, it's like they really look good. Our team looked like a year or two younger.
No
There's
mercy
one.
rule?
What's that?
No mercy rule at 15-0.
No. So it's 15-0. It's 15-0, but it's a time limit game. So, there's a guy, a fan for the other team, that every single hitter. All right, Lukey, settle in there. Let's get, he was on every pitch. They're up 18-0. Guy throws one strike for our team down the middle. It's like, all right, Lukey, reset. Dig deep. Just every pitch. And after a while, I'm just kind of looking over at the guy like, are you for real? I mean, your team's up now 20-0, and you're still like, reset, come on now, Oakland. I mean, he was cheering for his team, but he was cheering for his team every single pitch, every low pitch, get it a little higher, a little outside pitch. I mean, literally, one of the kids on our team took a pitch where our catcher dove for the ball, and he was like so far, he had to dive off the plate to get the ball. And this guy yells, "Good take." It's like, good take. Come on, it wasn't even a good take. It was almost a wild pitch. You know what I mean? It's like, so is there, even if you're rooting for your team, is it bad sportsmanship to root in a little kid's game on every pitch when you're up 20 runs?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not
Absolutely.
necessary.
Don't you think?
There's
I mean, it was
etiquette.
just a little much. It was a little
Uncalled
much.
Just a bit.
Uncalled for.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Mark Hope. You want to put that super chat up there?
Yeah, sure.
Mark Hope. Thank you, Mark Hope.
I'd have ripped him a new one, Larry.
Mark donates $2. Says, Dan, story time, please. I know you were a stud back in the day. Well, I wasn't a guy that hit for a long ball, that's for sure. I didn't have a lot of power. I had speed, but not much power. I was kind of like a Dwayne Kuiper type guy.
Yeah, you showed us your bunting skills, remember? A couple of weeks back?
I could bunt for base hits a lot.
Will you guys be doing fireworks tomorrow? Will you be setting off fireworks, or is it against the law in Arizona?
It's not against the law here.
Not in 107 degrees.
But
Hell no,
I'm
going
not
outside.
going out there when it's 100 and right now. Listen to what temperature is right now.
92.
You think it's 92 right now? It's 11:19. Hey Siri, what's the temperature outside?
It's about 94 degrees outside.
It's 11:20.
Jesus.
It's 94 degrees.
Let me
It's
see what
like-
it is. Let me
Gotta
see what
love
it is. It's hot in Walnut Creek tonight. Let me see what it is though. What would you guess?
I'm gonna guess
76.
70.
It says my Phoenix, by the way, says 98.
Yeah, well, depending on where you're at, yeah.
98 in Phoenix. Look what it is in Walnut Creek.
75.
60.
60?
60.
Oh man, it cools
Screw
down.
you, Crew.
60. It's warm though. It feels warm out.
Oh man, Crimea River, man.
Mark,
It's
this is
60 degrees.
Mark Hogan
down
is-
there.
56 degrees here in San Francisco. Yeah, 62 at game time. That's when you love to come out, get out of the desert, go up to the city, and watch the Giants when it's nice and cool. It feels.
It's the feces that keeps it cool.
That's
According to-
nasty, man.
I think the mayor said it's feces day, and it keeps the temperature cooler.
oh, Larry, that you know what that deserves, Larry.
Oh,
That deserves.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
What, I'm not hearing it.
here we
Turn it
go.
up, Eric.
Is this the highlights from earlier in the show?
Oh,
That's
man.
what we.
Kyle says it's 83 in Chico.
Oh,
Somebody said it's 77 in Patterson, 66 in Davis, 54 here in the Marina.
fecal fawn.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god.
Mark Hope says Larry's forever getting Dan off topic.
Oh,
That's
my
pretty
Lord.
good.
Oh man.
Oh, Liam from the UK. He's around.
Oh,
He's 58 in London.
58 in London.
7 a.m. That's right.
Hey, Liam knows his baseball, man.
Yeah, he
Is it-
does.
Is it really 7 a.m. in London right now? I thought it was. Let me look at
Yeah,
my
it's a
world clock.
8-hour difference.
Hold on. Let me look at my. I got to double
Your world
check.
clock?
Yeah, I got it because I got to check. 7:22.
722 in London, 1122 in Phoenix,
Oh, good.
222 in New York.
I can call London. I got a thing as a trial that ends today, free trial for some, and they're out of London, and it's a website that gives you royalty-free music, but they let you pay for some songs. Like you could get, like if I wanted to start off with, wanted to play Journey, for example, I could do it, but it costs me $8 every time I play it. And you can play it once in the show. So I got to get a little bit more details. So
Oh shit, Mark Graves is in Goodyear.
yeah,
99.
you didn't know Mark was down here? He's been over to the house a couple times. We've watched a couple ball games together.
That's Mark Graves. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I know who that is. Okay.
Damn.
Damn.
That's where I got my
Yeah. I'll watch 4th of July fireworks
and
on
some
TV
of that Giants
tomorrow.
stuff there.
Do you guys have any good 4th of July stories you can share with us?
Oh,
Nothing PG-13.
So I used to go to SI camp, and out in the sunset and there was the sand dunes. Well, lots of people used to set off illegal fireworks in the sand dunes. So you'd
Yeah.
find all these firecrackers. And I was like 9 years old. I found a bunch of firecrackers in the sand dunes, and we went to light them. And one of them had a real short wick.
Oh,
And I'm like,
oh,
Don't do it.
no.
I light it and I bring it back like this to throw it. And right as I get right here,
Pop.
it goes off in my hand.
Oh.
And my ears are just ringing. I look down at my hand to see if, because my hand is totally numb. I look down to see, do I have all my fingers? I'm like, oh yeah, I do. I got all my hands intact. But it went off in my hand. I never forget that. I was like,
Boys
oh
will
my
be
God.
boys.
Yeah, seriously.
Some of my best 4th of July memories are down at Ocean Beach and some bonfires with a group of friends
There you go.
and drinking at like age 14, 15. Mickey's malt liquors, remember
Oh yeah,
No,
Mickey's
sir.
Big Mouth. It's the worst beer of all time, by the way. Maybe the worst
The worst.
the worst tasting
Yeah.
beer. It had
But your
there was
friends are drinking it.
aftertaste, there was pre-taste, it was awful. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Your friends are drinking it. Your Irish
Aftertaste.
friends
It had
are
pre-taste,
drinking it and
bad
saying,
smell,
"Hey, Lowe's."
aftertaste. I mean, it was the worst beer, maybe the worst beer of all time.
Yes. I
Mickey's
concur.
Big Mouth. I mean, it was just
Mickey's
it's like,
Big
were you trying to make ass beer? Because you've made a successful ass beer. Let me give you one other one. My brother's lives out in Natomas, right? We go up there we go up to do fireworks in Sac. He's got a little bit of a Cold War thing going with his neighbor, right? Where they're like literally, you know, one guy thinks he's Reagan and the other guy thinks he's Gorbachev. And they're
You got a
sitting
little
there.
bit of, sounds like it runs in the family, Kruger family, with issues with your neighbors.
No, they actually got along. These guys got
Oh,
along.
okay. Oh, okay.
I mean, they're both pyromaniacs. So they're just like, you know,
Okay.
well, you think you bought $100 in fireworks? Well, we bought 150 in fireworks. So anyway, it's just going up and up and up. So they're on the other side of the street. We light off fireworks from like 8:00 to like 10:00. They didn't even get out there till like 9:15. And he's like, I've got more fireworks and we're going to light them off fast and this and that. So he goes on this, his neighbor goes on this run of fireworks, right? Stuff's going off left and right. Before we're even done, the neighbor's shutting his thing down and putting everything away. And I'm like, dude, your neighbor's really, really putting his fireworks away kind of fast. And he's like, oh yeah. Nobody says anything. So we were done with our fireworks. We sweep them up, put them in a garbage can, hose the whole thing down, submerge them in water. You can see it starting to steam, this and that. Then we poured out the water in the drain and just, you know, had the fireworks. The neighbor across the way puts all of his fireworks in his garbage can and then puts the garbage can in the corner of the garage. About a half hour after I left, the garbage can catches fire. He burns both of his cars in the garage.
Oh my goodness.
He caused himself $150,000, burned up the entire front of his house.
Damn.
Did his cars blow up?
Cars torched his cars, ruined both of his cars.
They didn't blow up with the gas?
I don't know if they blew up, but they caught fire and were damaged and destroyed. And then he destroyed the entire front of his house. Had to go move out and live somewhere else for a few months as they had to go, get all the smoke and the smoke. I mean, it was the entire front of his house, the entire side of his house, both of his cars torched. Moral of the story is be safe with your goddamn fireworks. If you're going to do fireworks, make sure they're out. And when I say make sure, you got to submerge them in water. And you got to submerge them in water for a few minutes before you can think it's out. It's not out.
Did you ever hang out at the Grove for 4th of July, Larry?
No. I stayed out of the Grove as much as possible.
That was a popular SI.
Yeah, it was a popular place to fight everybody and drink and yeah. I mean, it was a fighting
had too many
place.
Mickeys.
Yeah. We used to drink Natty Lights. Remember Natty Lights and Old Milwaukee's Best?
Mickey's and I went from Mickey's and St. Ides to root beer schnapps for some reason. I like those.
We used to have. Have you ever had a Shoot the Moon? A Shoot the Moon is a really good drink.
That sounds familiar.
You drop a shot
Eric, hold
of.
on. Oh, he left. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You drop a shot of root beer schnapps into a beer and then slam the whole thing.
That's right. Oh,
it's called Shoot the Moon.
Good.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah. Ooh, it's been a while. I might have to have that tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a good drink.
Old time's sake.
Hey,
Drop the shot. Does it
drop
fizzle
the
up?
shot. Yeah, it fizzles up, and then you throw it all back. You just got to make sure when you throw it back, you don't chip your tooth on that shot glass.
Did Eric leave?
Yeah, he said he had to head out. He put in the chat, but
He knows when we get on the roll, man.
I'm gonna send something if I can figure it out how to play this here. I'm gonna get it over into the video, and I'm going to show you something wild that happened to me. It wasn't 4th of July, but it was. Let's see, did I download that? Yeah, 723. There we go.
Dan, you could buy just about anything down here in AZ, huh? They don't really
Pretty
hold back
much. Yeah, pretty much. There's not any restrictions as far as I know on it, but yeah, I'm trying to convert this file and see if it uploads into StreamYard. I was while I'm doing it, if it works, I'll tell you this story, the backdrop. I'm living up in Idaho. This is in 21, and let's see if this comes over here. So I'm at my place. I got this guy helping out that's burning some brush, and it's like in March, so it's still cool. It's fine. You can burn fire. You can't after like June. It gets too hot and you can't burn stuff. So he's on my hill and he's doing stuff, and then we go to lunch, and my wife made some lunch. We go inside, and he says, "Oh, did you see some of those the flames out there that I had going?" And I said, "No, because I was working up. I had 2 properties up there, and I was working on one, and getting ready to sell it." And so we go in and have lunch, and then we go back. Now I'm having trouble getting this, but all of a sudden I'm at the other place, right? And just up the hill, and I'm looking, and all of a sudden I see this massive fire, just orange smoke, like going 100 feet in the air. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'm just casual. Oh, is this what he was talking about? Burning stuff. And a tree right next to my garage caught fire because he had, it turned out there was an old tire that was buried under dirt right next to the tree. And it ended up getting, I guess it just went up in flames. So I'm going to see if I can get it, because you wouldn't believe this. Oh man, I have.
You have the video of it?
Yeah, I have a video of it. Yeah, and I was just like casually walking down the hill, like, what the heck's going on down there? And then all of a sudden, I see it's like a tree next to my garage. So I started running, and people, started jumping out. We lived right near it wasn't a main highway, but it was not very many cars went up, but people were jumping and trying to grab hoses, and these guys happened to be firefighters that just happened to be off duty driving by and saw it. And I almost lost it was seconds away from losing the garage. I jumped in my truck, backed it out of the garage so it didn't blow up. I thought the whole thing was going to go up, and we just finished building it 2 months earlier. I was like, oh my goodness. So that was wild.
That is wild.
But for some reason, I can't get this thing to add video clip. Does it show up? Nope.
We had a firework night one time at my brother's house, and one of his friends brings almost the equivalent of like a mini hot air balloon, right? And it's like literally a torched flame in looked like a balloon, like a hot air balloon, except it was only about a foot wide by a foot tall, but it had this fire base that was, and I'm looking at this thing as they're lighting it, and I'm like, what, how's this work? And they're like, oh yeah, it's like a hot air balloon. I'm like, okay. So they light it, they had it on the end of the stick, and it releases up into the air. and now it's starting to float away. But as it gets above the houses, there's like wind, and it starts moving horizontally, and it's headed towards these 2 trees, right?
Ooh.
And I'm looking at this fireball going through the sky, and I'm like, is it supposed to go? I go, it's going to hit that tree. And he's like, my brother, we're looking at it like, oh my God, it's going to light these trees on fire.
Oh, gosh.
And it just hit the top of a tree, and it looked like it was about to like get caught, which would have caught the tree on fire. And it kind of bounced off and went higher. Oh my God. It was like inches away from massive tree fire in the middle of Sacramento.
Oh my goodness.
So
That-
yeah, it's
Some good fourth stories.
yeah, seriously. I did a radio show one time where there was a story in the hopper about some guy in Ohio had a big party at his house, and the cops came to break it up, and they put the fireworks because they were illegal in whatever county they were in. The guy tried to hide the fireworks. He hides them in the oven.
Oh,
Forgets that he hid him in the oven. The roommate comes home a couple hours later and wants to have a microwave or have a pizza, goes to preheat the oven and blows up the house.
Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, I actually was able to get this thing to upload, and I'm about to show you this crazy tree of mine right next to my log garage that was detached from my log cabin because of the space of it, the land. So I'm walking down the hill and you're going to see, oh God, here we go. Coming down from the other property.
Stay here.
That was literally 3 feet from my, oh, jeez. And then I got
Who
video.
put that out?
The people jumped it off the road and came up, grabbed hoses, they putting it out, and then the guy, I've actually got a video of him cutting it down, and it falls right across the highway.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was like, oh man. It was, I mean, I was very fortunate. I've actually got a shirt that I still wear. It's a real soft cotton shirt that I like to wear around the house. I'm just knocking around. It's got holes in it because I had embers flying and burning holes in my shirt because there was it just blew all over.
Fire is a scary thing, man. Did you guys ever see the Netflix documentary on what was that little town near Chico that burned down?
Oh yeah.
Shit! I should know that.
It had a real nice name. It was like Pleasantville or something like that, or what was it?
Yeah, I think I knew some guys that lost some homes up there in that
Paradise.
Yeah.
Paradise.
Yeah. That documentary is so freaking scary. How fast that whole thing just went up in flames.
What's it called?
Paradise.
Oh, it's called Paradise.
Paradise, yeah.
Wow.
Right near Chico. And basically it ruined the town, burned the town out. I mean,
that
every
town
structure-
is predominantly seniors, and a lot of them burned trying to get out.
Oh,
of
not only that, people burned in their cars trying to escape.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they were in their
Oh.
cars to get out. Yeah, it's brutal.
That would be absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There's somebody said in here Sacramento's like a war zone on the 4th.
Oh, it is. It's just ridiculous.
Wow.
What's going on in Sac?
No,
All
it's
the
just
fireworks.
so many fireworks.
Just like it must be like yeah. Wow.
They set them off a lot in your neighborhood, Dan?
This is my first year in this neighborhood. This is
Oh, that's right. That's right.
brand new neighborhood, so I don't know what to expect.
Larry, you don't hear much out on
Well,
the
they're
creek, do you?
illegal in Contra Costa.
Oh, nice quiet night for Larry.
No. Well, we'll be going to my brother's spot, so we'll be lighting stuff off left and right. But yeah, the dogs don't like it. I mean, Penny hates it. She hates the
They
fireworks.
get scared.
Oh yeah, I had a
Skittish.
dog, a golden retriever, and her name was Penny too, and she got so freaked out from fireworks and thunder. We have these monsoons here in the summer. She was outside and she broke the window twice trying to jump and up and get in. But she would go nuts. I literally I tried all these different things. Like they have these belts or not like these, you put them on them and they feel like they're being hugged and everything. I had to actually, while the storms were going on, I had to hold her down and just like pin her because she flipped out. She was so frightened that I just had to hold her with all my strength because she was like foaming and spitting and she just couldn't relax. And
The smarter the dogs are, the worse it is. It really is. Our dog is, we have a golden retriever as well. She knows where the vet is to such a degree that when we get and we put her in the car, we're taking her to the vet. As soon as she senses we're going to the vet, she freaks out. And once we pull into the lot, it's like if she hasn't had like the meds that they give us to like make her calm down, she won't go in. We cannot get her into the vet. That's how much she's afraid of it.
Yeah.
Based on a couple of experiences. I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Larry,
Wow.
is your first choice for a Giants trade for a pitcher Giolito?
I do like Giolito. First choice.
You might have to give up too much for him. I've been kind of touting James Paxton from the Red Sox.
He's had so many arm problems though.
He's reinvented
a lot of arm
himself,
problems.
though. Boy, he's throwing 98.
Yeah, no, he's throwing great. He's throwing great, but I would just always be crossing my fingers on that one.
Yeah.
I do like Giolito because I think Giolito's a true number one starter.
Yeah.
And if you could get him, maybe you could extend him. It was tough watching Gausman, in Toronto look as good as he looked and know he was here. And
I wonder what the Giants' reasoning was for not even offering him a contract.
Well, they just don't want to go big money long term with a starting pitcher, which I don't fault them necessarily, but
yeah.
But I'll say one thing I'd love to see the Giants do. I'd love to see them trade a prospect for a pitcher. I'd like to see them promote Harrison and Wisenhunt, and then I would love to see them trade a pitcher. I'd love to see them try to take some good players away from Arizona. Let them have Alex Cobb. Let them have, if you can get DeSclafani healthy, I would be okay with trading them a pitcher or two and seeing if I could get some young players coming back. I like that kid Nelson who pitched against the Giants in San Francisco. What's his name? Ryan Nelson. Ryan, he's pretty good. And I love Pavin Smith, and I love that kid McCarthy. And I don't know, what are the Giants going to do at second base, Danny? Now without is it just going to be Casey Schmidt?
I think it's going to be Schmidt and Wisely. Yeah, platoon pretty much. I'd play Schmidt over Wisely just because he's part of my future and I want to get him at bats. I'm not going to sit there and, how many times do you face a lefty? It's 75, 80% of the time they're facing right-handed pitching. I mean, this whole series is right-handed pitching, I think. So if you're going to sit Casey Schmidt because you want a platoon and you're going to put some guy that's ranked whatever his, I just did a top 49 prospect thing on him. The Giants said, I don't remember where Brett Wisely was. He wasn't, play your top guys.
He's not a prospect, right? He's just a guy.
Exactly. But the Giants don't do business that way. They platoon.
What about that kid Fitzgerald? Can he play second base?
Yeah, he can play short and second. And
what about Diaz?
Diaz can do the same. He can play all three. He's best suited at second base.
He can hit a little bit.
He didn't hit when he came up a couple games, but he only got a couple. The Giants.
He only got a couple games.
Yeah, they do this, and then they send guys down. They never get them into a rhythm. They move guys around. They're playing guys, I don't know if you saw the game the other night, Larry, when Matos was in right field and the ball blooped in, and then he looked like he tried to deke the runner with 2 out, and ball got by him, and then an extra run scored. That was Sunday night. Yeah, last night's game. My feeling is the kid's 21. He's showing that he's a natural center fielder. He glides out there. He gets the balls. He's got a little showmanship. He looks like just, you know,
I leave him in center.
Yeah. Why do they screw guys around? They put Bryce Johnson over in right. Luis Matos is 21 years old. He's a center fielder. Let him get that down at least and do that well. You put him in right field, the ball comes off the bat differently. I played different outfield positions, and center field, you could see the ball best because you can see where it's, you know, you got to jump. You're watching the pitch and you see it so much better. In right field, you don't sometimes see it until maybe it's just past the pitcher. You know, it's kind of because of the angle. And you know, just leave the kid alone. He's having a hard enough time where he's got to figure out what to do at the plate at this level. Then you screw him and you put him in right field because Bryce Johnson's, you think's a little better than he is in center field. It's just dumb.
Yeah,
that's the Giants' MO though. They like guys that are versatile that can play 3 positions.
Yeah, try putting Willie Mays in right field because you got some other guy that's really good in center field.
I wouldn't mess with. I wouldn't, you know, especially if you got a guy who's like, you know, the advance right now. The advance reports are going on around Schmidt and Matos and Bailey. That means that everybody who gets paid good money to scout in the National League is scouting the hell out of those guys, trying desperately to turn off their water. And most of the time it works. Most of the time you can shut off a young kid's water by just knowing his tendencies and featuring, you know, I've seen it a lot already with the Giants' young hitters. They're getting a steady diet of breaking stuff. You know, here comes you're crushing the fastball. Here we go. Matos, you hit one out down the left field line on a fastball in on the hands and turned on it like crazy. Great. Guess what? You're seeing junk. You're going to see junk, and more junk. So that's what they do. I mean, that's the name of the game is, you know, figure out a way to cool these guys off, make them question it. Whatever they do well, take it away from them. Whatever pitch they don't hit well, give them a steady diet of it. And that's really all it is. And then you just have to adjust and figure it out on the fly. And it's like, I agree with Danny on this one. Simplify the game in every way imaginable for guys who are getting, you know, mind screwed at the plate. Don't make them think in the field. Don't make them think in these other spots. You know, play him in a spot where he's super comfortable and just keep playing him there and let his mental effort all go to trying to keep up with the advance reports, right?
It drives me nuts. It just drives me nuts the way they do all this shuffling and bringing up guys. And you watch, if they tomorrow night, I don't know if Crawford's going to be in the lineup, back in the lineup. My guess is he will because wasn't he out there in the ninth?
He struck out on the end of the game,
and so he was in there
right down the middle
at the end. So he had a little banged up from yesterday, a rib or something. But okay, so tomorrow they're going to face another right-handed pitcher.
Who is it?
They're facing Logan Gilbert, right-handed pitcher against undecided. So they're probably going to either go.
He's been hittable this year. He's nasty, but he's been hittable this year. He loves his fastball. Even though he's got 2 other great pitches.
They got a right-handed pitcher tomorrow, and then on Wednesday they've got it's undecided. Seattle hasn't announced, but don't play wisely just because he's left-handed over Casey Schmidt on the bench, because you're stunting his development, and he's one of the guys that's part of the future. You know, he is your probably everyday third baseman or shortstop next year. Don't just because you want the matchup advantages constantly. That's what, you know, I don't know. It's just
It's junky. It's
Yeah.
junky. It's too much. It's, incremental advantages, but guess what? It's also about comfort. The game's about comfort. I was talking to some Giants people earlier this year about, this, the way they started the year where they had guys up and guys down and guys up and guys down. And it's like, hey, you know what? You just started the year. How about let guys get comfortable before you start Jimmy jacking them up and down? But no, they're constantly looking for incremental, improvement. And the Tandy 5000 spit out that, this guy would be better than that guy. So, got to get this guy up, got to get that guy down. And so they're doing a lot of that. And it's like, when it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. It's just like, I just think it's overdone. It's overdone.
And I
Guys,
think they need to go ahead, Los.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it safe to say that advanced scouts are a thing of the past? In other words, scouts for the Rockies are not in town, and scouting players. Has technology completely made them oblivious?
No, I don't think so. I think you do see. I think you see more of it, Los. I think there's a lot that can be done off the TV in season. But when teams start to formulate their reports for the postseason, they're flying guys in. They're looking for whispers around the yard. They want to have boots on the ground and somebody taking a long look. If they're building a dossier for a postseason series, I think they want those guys in the yard.
So it's still useful, just not during the regular season, you think, as much?
Yeah, I don't think it's quite. Maybe there might not be as many. Maybe there's some teams that are cutting costs. And maybe if you're out of it, maybe, if you're 40 games out like the A's, are you really going to get some advanced scout, put them on an airplane, send them to New York? So you maybe get a little bit better idea of what the Red Sox look like for some series you have in 2.5 weeks. Maybe, but probably not. They're probably saving money. That'd be my guess.
Yeah. Hey, tonight, Los, you had it about Bonds. I don't know why the Giants just don't make him a permanent hitting coach. He was with Florida, when they were the Florida Marlins instead of Miami. Here's tonight's comments from Blake Sable. It was pretty cool today. Barry Bonds was in the cages, Sable told reporters. I got my first hitting lesson with Barry today. Maybe he knows a thing or two about hitting some homers. Sable said Bonds pulled him aside at batting practice. He helped Sable with his posture in the batter's box and told him to trust his hands through the zone. A few hours later, Sable clobbered a 1-2 fastball from Mariners starter Brian Wu in the fourth inning, bubble over the wall. In the ninth, he battled back from an 0-2 count and socked his 10th homer of the season on another fastball, this time off Mariners closer Paul Sewald. Sable said, that was probably the best I felt since spring training as far as how free my body felt turning and how still my head was, Sable said. I felt like I was able to see pitches well tonight. Yeah, Sable's not the first.
For the record, in the chat session, I did not say Barry Bonds should be the everyday hitting coach because he would probably never do it. It's too much time consuming. But what I did say is that man is a resource. And that man has as high an IQ for the art of hitting from the mental side. And if he's in the clubhouse or if he's up here, pick his damn brain. I think he's approachable right now. Why not? Why would you not do that? Why would you be stubborn and think, hey, I'm hitting 238. I'm all right. Pick the man's brain.
Yeah, I think his best job would be as a roving minor league instructor or a roving instructor like Will. You roll in. You take a look at a club, maybe you give some advice, and you roll out. He's not going to be there throwing a million whiffles or a million this or that, or he ain't doing that. But
he did it with the Marlins. I don't think he liked it much.
Yeah,
but I don't think Gabe would ever want have him in the dugout as a.
That's Gabe's fault.
Yeah,
that's Gabe's stubbornness because he'd rather have a computer telling him.
So you do want Kai Correa there, but you don't want Barry Bonds there,
right?
I mean, it's crazy.
Really?
One thing I definitely respect about Shanahan and Lynch is they go back to the past and they always bring old Niners to not talk necessarily about the game, but just talk about what it's like to be a Niner. Just so, yeah, I could totally see Gabe and Farhan not being all in for, Giants of the past. I could totally see that.
Mark Hope donates $2. Says, my bad, Los. I was saying Barry and Will. I was one saying Barry and Will. Okay.
Giants
You're taking credit for that, Marco?
Giants also had, Vogie as a roving instructor, and then they didn't pick up his thing, and he left.
Oh,
he's no longer there.
It's kind of weird how a lot of the older Giant guys that were here and were helping out and were part of the organization are not much part of it anymore. You don't see them as much. You don't used to see Jeremy Affeldt all the time on broadcast, and you don't even see him now.
I think he might have said some things to upset the powers that be.
And they won't say nothing on camera if you interview them, but if you ask them off camera, you'll get some answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think that the situation with the Giants, you got two things to think about. One is, where are you going to be when it comes at the trade deadline? Hopefully you go into the break on a winning streak, get some rest, get healthy, get Conforto back in the everyday lineup with Yaz and, Sable out there against, right-handers and with Slater, leave Matos in there. But the thing with Jock, here's the thing I was thinking. Larry, what do you think of this? Flores, like they're talking about maybe trading Bart. There's rumors about trading Bart.
They should.
I was looking at I don't know what he would bring though, because they're selling very low at this point because they don't seem to value him much. But he's 26. I don't know if he's going to turn it around or not. Maybe he needs a change of scenery and does it somewhere else. But Matt Williams, first almost 700 bats in 3 seasons, parts of 3 seasons. Now, he was younger. He was 21, 22, and 23 in those years, or 22, 3, and 4, whatever it was. But first 3 years, he's hitting 198.
Right.
Joey Bart's hitting like 225, 230.
And it's different, too, because 198 then was way worse than 198 now. Because 230 now is more like 260 then.
Right, because of the advancement of different pitchers and the shift that they had to go through and all that. So here's my thinking. Bart you don't know what you have. Why not trade someone like Wilmer Flores, who a lot of playoff teams would love to have as that veteran that comes off the bench for key, and get, maybe you get a 5th starter or something like that somebody doesn't want, that can give you some innings, reliable innings. And then you you bring up Joey Bart and let him be your backup first baseman, platoon him with Wade, get some power, see what he can do. He can catch once or twice a week if Bailey needs a break, but make him your first baseman, pinch hitter guy. And then, see what he does. If he starts really hitting, maybe you've got a first baseman with some power who's 26 years old. Maybe he just needs the pressure off of him. And if he doesn't do it, then move off of him. But I just would hate to trade Joey Bart for a bag of peanuts, and some guy that's going to never make it.
How about trade Joey? Sorry to interrupt. Well, what about trading Joey Bart, Danny, for like a Joey Bart equivalent?
I don't know if they could do that though. Could they?
Well,
are you thinking someone like a Torkelson or somebody like a
Torkelson? Maybe I wasn't thinking Torkelson. I was thinking, I'm thinking of like Pavin Smith. Look at the Diamondbacks. I mean, they've got Carson Kelly. Carson Kelly's hitting 200, and he's older. And what they have Gabe Moreno as well. I guess he's their number 1 guy, probably. He's hitting closer to 270. But I mean, if you look around baseball, there's a lack of catchers. And you got a guy who doesn't cost a lot of money. I mean, Look how many people the Padres jumped at the catcher who hit under 200, and the Giants never promoted him, right?
Gary
The
Sanchez.
Gary Sanchez. And I mean, so they're obviously, I think Bart has a little bit more value just because of the position that he plays and the fact that he's healthy and ready to go and doesn't cost anything. But if you could find a guy, I think of Pavin Smith just because I think Pavin Smith is a first baseman who can, hit for a decent average and maybe hit 20 home runs in a better situation. He just hasn't done it yet. I'd be looking for, there's no doubt that Bailey is superior to Bart, especially calling a game, especially throwing.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking is Bart. You wager first baseman for the next few years, as he's showing himself that he's capable, but he's never really going to be that great hitting against lefties. So when you're facing a lefty, why not have some guy that has potential pop? And he can play first base. He's big target. He's 6'4". He can obviously scoop grounders if he can get in front of a fastball going, 100 miles an hour and block it in the dirt. And then he becomes a really solid backup catcher when you need a guy that, Bailey would be your number one guy. But you're not going to have Bailey go 7 days. If you got 7 games, you're going to need a break. Put Bart. There's no real defensive drop off with Bart. Bart is got a better arm than Bailey, but Bailey's got a quicker getting out of the box and releasing it. But
Bart's good catch and throw guy. But I just think that Bart. I mean, you could find the Kirk Casallis of the world out there to, give you a backup catcher if you're really going with Bailey. What do you think of Bart in a package deal for Soto to the Padres? I mean, if the
Padres are looking for a catcher, that's
what I'm saying. You give them Bart and Luciano and a young arm or two, and throw Soto coming this way. That's what I'd like to do with Bart. Is maybe you could get somebody.
That's not a bad deal because the Padres definitely could use a catcher. Bart needs maybe just a change of scenery, and it seems like
Soto.
Yeah, maybe you can package Bart, Luciano, and
I don't think you'd have to give Crawford. I really don't. I think you could. I think you could get away with doing something less than Crawford if you went Bart and Luciano at the top.
Maybe you can go Landon Roop or something like that. He's the number 12 prospect just behind Mason Black. Might take a Mason Black, something like that. But
I just don't see if that happens that Soto stays here long term. He'll stay here for his year and a half, and then he'll be gone. He wants his numbers. He wants to go to a hitter's park. Unless the Giants win it all, and they're
for some reason he hits pretty well here. He's hitting a lot of off-field home runs. He's hit 2 or 3 the last time he's been in town.
Could be
to left field, but I don't know. It's not bad. I mean, Soto has not performed up to expectations that he has was made out to be. I mean, a year ago this time, just before the trade, they were talking like a generational player. That a top 5 guy, and he has the ability. You could see it, but for some reason he hasn't put it together.
The rumor that I saw from the Yankees was William Warren and Estevan Florial for Jock Peterson. Now, William Warren, if you go look at William Warren, he's at AAA. He's a 6'2" right-handed pitcher who's at AAA. He looks like the kind of guy the Giants could plug into their rotation. And Florial used to be a top prospect who has kind of struggled to get through the Yankee system. But Florial's got major talent. I mean, major league talent for sure.
All day. I've been advocating trading Jock.
I'm looking at Keith Law's top 20, who he ranks for the Yankees. Of course, he's got Anthony Volpe at 1, and Jason Dominguez, the outfielder, who's everybody's high on him.
He took Kyle Harrison deep last year at Dodger Stadium in the Futures game. Just dead center, just ripped it.
I'm not seeing. Let's see. I'm going through the top.
He's their
Will
number
Warren.
one prospect.
He's number 9. Okay, Will
7
Warren
on this,
is 6'2", 175.
Oh, he's like,
Fourth-year junior out of
Is
But
he-
South.
you should
he's a-
see this guy's arsenal.
he's a
Oh,
power pitcher. Larry?
Yeah, he's a power
up,
pitcher.
up to 97, but pitches more at 91 to 95. as a
But
starter.
he's his two breaking his slide.
Oh,
What he is his
11.5.
slider is his fastball's a 55, the curve is a 50, but the slider's a 60. And
there's-
he's a
staying in the-
nasty. He's the guy's on the verge. I saw an interview he did. He seems like a smart young kid. And then Florial is a really athletic outfielder. He once upon a time, he's kind of like a little bit of a Tyro Estrada type in that once upon a time Tyro Estrada was a very highly rated Yankee prospect and just kind of went through it a little bit. Estevan Florial wasn't that long ago was a really highly rated Yankee prospect, and now he's a little bit older now. He's 25 now, but I mean, this guy's been in the system for a while. Estevan Florial bats left, throws right, 6'1", 195-pound, super athletic, center fielder.
Warren's a double A or triple A guy?
Triple A.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm all
They
for
don't
it.
even. I'm all for. Yeah, that one sounds good. I don't see Florial even in the top 30.
No, he's not. He's that's what I'm saying. The bloom's off the rose on Florial, but Florial's starting to get it offensively. And if you look at his minor league numbers, they're really pretty good this year. Let me see if I can dig them up here.
Sometimes I don't buy too much into those top 10, top 20s because Bailey was pretty down on the prospect list and Bart was very high. So I don't know. Some guys just do better at the major league level. Remember, Bailey was hitting 221 in single A, I believe, a year and a half ago.
Okay, so here's Florial. Right now, he's been at Scranton at AAA, 297 at bats, or 253 at bats, 297 plate appearances. He's hitting 293 with 384 on base, 989 OPS. So that's
How many stolen bases?
let me see if it
15?
tells me stolen bases here. Come on,
Yeah,
get
the
that.
Giants could get a little faster. That would be nice.
I mean,
Yes.
this guy's nice. I've seen him hit the ball into the left field corner and leg it out for a triple. I mean, how many guys hit a triple into the left field corner?
Really?
Think
Many.
about, yeah, I mean, you got to really fly to hit the ball down the left field line and make it to third base.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go onto my computer here and look it up.
Where did
here.
you hear that rumor about the Yankee trade?
It's on Bleacher Report.
Oh,
It
okay.
had the Yankees interested in Cody Bellinger or Jock Peterson, and they were saying that Warren to the Giants for Peterson and Warren and Florial to the Cubs for Bellinger. But I mean, if I were the Giants, I'd throw something else in and try to get Florial, because what the Giants could really use is another athlete in the outfield.
Right, right.
And Larry, we've been talking about pulling the trigger early as opposed to waiting all the way until the deadline. Beat everybody to the punch like Texas just did with Chapman.
And the Giants don't have a way to get anything for Jock if they don't trade him, because they can't offer him arbitration again because they picked up the option this year or whatever. So they just have to let him walk at the end of the year. And also, you know what? Jock's a perfect candidate to trade in July and sign in the offseason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's
Because
from Palo Alto. He's, he knows your system. He's at this point, Jock Peterson is the equivalent of a hired gun. He's done it in October. Teams are keenly aware that he knows how to rise to the occasion in the moment. And so he's going to be a coveted guy because general managers remember him having success with the puka shells around his neck in a Braves uniform. And so a team like the Yankees that's looking for power, Judge has got some kind of torn tendon or something in his toe or something, or thumb.
Right.
Or what is he? Judge has some weird injury. They're looking for some proven, power, but that's cost controlled into the future. They don't. And a guy like Peterson's perfect. He's a free agent at the end of the year. It's an ideal situation. they're not using this AAA starter. The Giants could plug that AAA starter right into their rotation. You could probably play Florial at the major league level. You could probably go 2-for-1 right there. And, you maybe have to throw something else with Peterson to make it a deal, but Giants and Yankees have hooked up on more than a few deals.
I like it.
Check this out. I'll show you with his stats. They're pretty impressive. Can you see the 23 season right there? Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, AAA. So the 253 is the at-bats. The 52 is runs, 74 hits, 11 doubles, 4 triples, 20 home runs, 46 RBIs, 16 stolen bases. Look at his stolen bases last year, 39.
I like the
Yeah.
989 OPS.
Look at that. The 90. That looks like a player to me.
Oh, there's no question he's a talent.
20 home runs, and he's 25.
Are you talking about and it just took him
Strikes out a lot. 87.
Yeah, there's some swing and miss there, but
He's got close to.
there's a
30%.
lot to like about that player.
Yeah.
And if you could get an arm that you could plug into the rotation,
if you get that Will Warren, I'm all for that trade because you've got Jock. I mean, to move off of Jock, you still got guys that can DH from you from the left side. I mean, you've got an abundance. I mean, if you got Florial, hits left. You got Sable. You got Florial. You could make.
How athletic your outfield is if you have Matos and Florial in one outfield.
Right, and Yaz. Yaz is a great fielder.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Yaz out in right field with Matos in center.
I would throw in Slater to get that deal done.
Oh, they won't. I mean, they love Slater, and Slater's doing well, but
they love Slater, don't they?
They do.
They love that
Slater.
guy.
Yeah, I mean,
when they love their players,
that's the kind of a deal you can make. A guy that I wonder what Will Warren's stats. Let me take a look if I can pull up Will Warren here. Will,
you know what's even better, Danny? Go YouTube him and go watch, because all the Yankees fans are so passionate that there's videos on every one of their prospects, like lots of videos, right? Because they know people are going to watch them all. And I just Googled him the other day, or I just searched him on YouTube, and I watched Will Warren, some highlights from some of his recent starts.
Yeah.
The fastball's 96. His best pitch is a nasty. He's got a nasty Jeff Nelson frisbee slider.
They also said his curveball's 11-5.
Yeah. Huge. He's got 3 things he does with the baseball that I can see. He throws a fastball that has a lot of life and a lot of tail, kind of moves away from left-handed hitters and in on righties. He's got a 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock break on that curve. It's an up and down pitch. And then he's got a frisbee slider that's his nastiest pitch. And it's got crazy, violent late break.
I'm going to be pissed if the Dodgers grab him.
Yeah.
Move on it far on. Hey, MF in the chat guys ask, what about the idea of making a play for Gomber or Freeland, getting him out of Colorado and maybe pitching better? You like any of those guys?
I like Freeland. What do you guys think of this one? How about Bednar for Bednar? How about Will Bednar to the Pirates for David Bednar?
I don't know if the Pirates would do that. But I
don't know.
would.
I mean, the younger kid's only 23, 6'2", 230. He was a first round draft choice.
Back on the IL again too. I looked him up today. I was like, gosh, this guy's always on the IL.
Where's Elliot Ramos?
He's at SAC right now. He's on a rehab assignment. He went 2 for 3 tonight with a little comebacker hit to the mound. Must have been a dribbler, and then he got a double.
Throw him in on the Yankees trade. Throw him in.
I'll tell you another guy that I'd love to see at the big leagues this year if he keeps doing it is Wade Meckler.
Yeah, he's hitting well. He's kind of reminds me of.
He can really run.
I wonder if he's similar. He doesn't have much power, but he seems like a guy that is a contact hitter, lefty that makes contact.
Perfect for the ballpark.
Yeah,
The
like
guy
you were
can
saying.
control the strike zone. Great contact hitter. Solid defender in the outfield corners. They say he's capable in center. He has kind of a fringe arm. But Wade Meckler's been swinging it.
Man, they got
Mark Graves asked.
they got some outfield prospects between Meckler, Brown, McRae.
Graves asked a good question. Could the
Rainer
Giants
Arias.
Yeah.
could they pay Jock's salary in that deal and keep a prospect instead of having to give up? Well, I think if you might be able to get Will Warren and someone
Florio.
like Florial just for Jock because the Yankees are
Straight up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the only way Jock comes back next year to the Giants is on a lower multi-level, multi-year deal if the Giants make the playoffs. That's the only way, they might bring him back on a 2 to 3 year deal that's worth maybe $30 million total.
See, I will
10
say
years.
this. I agree with that, by the way, wholeheartedly. But I'll also say this. I think these are the kinds of trades the Giants need to focus on. They don't need to focus on dumping all their top prospects for one hired gun. What they need to do is make good baseball trades, find out who they have that's coveted around the league, and go see if you can find somebody's AAA starter that you think can plug into your rotation, and do that 2 or 3 times between now and the deadline. And then guess what? You might have 2 or 3 young starters that you can add to Wisenhunt and Harrison. That's what I would do. Is that I wouldn't do nothing, but I wouldn't sell. I mean, I'm willing to sell Luciano and a couple of top prospects, but only if I'm getting a true difference maker, a Juan Soto, or somebody who's really going to be really special, where the fan base is going to be like, you know what, that's our guy. The Giants can trade for Soto and then sign him. I mean, that's the one thing about the Giants is that Soto might be the kind of guy too. If you can get him here, the Giants have the kind of depth of pocketbooks that they could probably convince him over the next year to sign a long-term deal here by offering him the moon. I mean, I'd almost rather take. I mean, how old's Soto? He's a relative baby, right? 24. Now, there's a guy that I feel confident giving a 10-year deal to. 24 to 34? Yes. 25 to 35? Yes. I don't know about these guys that are 28, 29. They're getting 13-year deals. I don't know about that. But you got a guy who's 24? I don't like that.
That's why I suggested I would pay Ohtani for 7 years, $75 million, and you got an ace on the mound. I mean, if you think about it, just him as a pitcher alone is worth over $40 million a year. It's just okay. You're a starter. You're better than Verlander. You're better than Scherzer. You're a top pitcher. You can argue that he's a $40 million salary that the Mets would pay him if all he did is pitch. Now take him as a hitter, and he's another $30+ million.
Oh yeah, you cannot. I mean, unfortunately, if the player goes down, you're losing both a hitter and a pitcher as well.
Right.
So it's like it has it goes both ways. But yeah, I mean, I would say this too. Who else is coming off the Giants' books this year? There'll be no Peterson at what, 17 million? 19 for Peterson. So you got 36 million coming off because you also got 17 for Crawford.
DeScalfani's coming off.
Coming off.
You're talking about $50 million, over $50 million coming off their books.
I think Conforto comes off too because he's got an opt out, and I think
that's 70 mil.
I counted 70 million the other day. I think he does opt out. Conforto, if he's healthy and he he may not even have to have great stats to opt out and somebody give him a better multi-year deal. Because he's going to be looking for Conforto is how old is Conforto? I think he's 30. Is he 30? Yeah, he's 30 years old. I think he's looking for one more contract that'll get him to like 35 at least. He's probably wanting a 4-year deal at close to 100. Maybe, when you figure a guy that has 30 home run potential, he still may do it this year if he gets on a roll, but he's a guy that I think he definitely wants at least 4 and 80. And I don't know if the Giants will give him that,
I see. I debate a little bit with Danny and Eric about if I have 60 million. Let's just say Ohtani costs 60 million. I'd rather have 3 guys at 20 million each. I'm not a big fan of putting all my eggs in one basket, mainly for the injury factor, but also just baseball is the one sport where, Ohtani's probably going to be a superstar, but if he does not work out at 60, 70 million a year, I've seen too many guys get big money and they just,
if you are the kind of team that can spend your problems away, then go for it. But if you're everybody else, it's high stakes poker, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
you could be pissing away 3 seasons of baseball, of competitive baseball, with one bad decision. Let's be honest about it, guys. How sunk would the Giants relatively be today if they had gone for
Correct.
13 and 350 on Correa?
Exactly.
They'd be cooked.
Exactly.
They'd be absolutely cooked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to crash, guys.
Yeah.
Got an early morning tomorrow. I got to watch Joey Chestnut power down 75 hot dogs.
Oh, is that tomorrow? Oh, that's right. That's right. That contest. All right. Well,
I saw him interviewed on 95.7 The Game today. Dan Dibley's asking him, "What's the day after like?" And he's like, "Oh man, I gotta keep moving. I gotta walk around. I feel terrible." It's pretty. It's.
Oh man,
it's pretty. What could you guys eat in mass?
Oh, I could
banana cream pie.
I was thinking maybe like prawns, like with cocktail sauce. I could probably eat like 50 prawns.
I can eat like 10 lumpia.
and I bet you do often.
Yeah,
I used to, but I've lost like 16, 17 pounds.
It would have to be something Asian food, like
Yeah.
I could kill some
pot stickers,
some dim sum.
Yeah.
Ooh, I missed dim sum from the Bay
Well,
Area. God.
thanks for joining us, Larry. In honor of you joining us, we're going to let you out with your theme song.
There we go. Happy 4th, guys.
There you go. Larry Krueger, everybody. Thanks, Larry.
Later.
All right. Larry Krueger joining us on the NorCal Sports Network, talking Giants baseball, talking fireworks, 4th of July. We're talking about neighborhood stories of guy burnt his entire garage down. That's an unbelievable story. Why would you put everything in the trash can and hide it in your? You know what I thought? You know where I thought he was going with that story? I thought he was going with when we finished we put all our things in water and the neighbor. I thought the cops or something were coming. They knew the cops were coming. They got a tip or something, and they were trying to hide their stuff, even though I guess it's legal there. But I thought, well, maybe the guy put in his garage in a trash can. Oh my goodness. Probably was 100+ degrees up there at the time. The heat probably set it off.
Dan, since we're talking about food a little bit, I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
Does the wife make sisig?
Let me ask her. Because if it is, it sounds like something I wouldn't eat.
SISIG. She'll know what it is.
SISIG? Yeah. Hold on, let me put this on mute. I muted it, so I'm yelling because I wasn't sure. I
Yeah.
figured she was awake. S-I-S-I-S-I-G.
SISIG. Yeah, pork sisig. You can make chicken too, but
Oh,
pork is the best.
okay, here's. I'm on live right now.
So,
You don't have to come in the camera, but do you make pork
sisig.
sisig? S-I-S-I-G?
I don't know how to do it. And maybe I know how. We just don't have the ingredients.
Oh,
They-
she hasn't made that. What's your stuff you make? This I knew you lumpia and all that stuff. But
Adobo.
adobo? Chicken adobo is one of my favorites.
Kari
Pork-
kari.
Who's that?
Carlos.
Why you know sisig about sisig?
Oh,
My wife says,
I,
why
I,
do you-
I know the Filipino culture very well. I've
He
been
says
to
he knows the
Philippines.
Filipino culture very well.
Kari kari.
Kari kari?
Kare kare.
Kari what?
Kare kare.
Kari kare.
That's good stuff, Danny. You're lucky. You're lucky.
Oh, good.
You're lucky. If she makes hollow hollow, I'm coming over.
Do you make halo halo?
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear that?
I'm
He's-
there.
He's over. He's coming over.
We'll trade my wife's Mexican recipes for.
Ooh, I love Mexican food.
Oh, my wife can cook, so it's a good match.
SMH says I know bad words in Filipino.
Oh, so do I.
Tagalog?
Oh, so do I.
Hey, I know what this is. This means bajo. Bajo. That's bajo, right? Yeah. What else do ask? Let's see. I'm seeing some stuff in the chat here with food. Who's married to a Filipino? Is it Mark Hope?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark. He said he had sisig in LA, served with mayo. Not good.
Oh, it's
not
so
good for
good.
you. Love sisig.
I know you can have it just once in a while.
My wife does loaves, fish, and pork. I have. What else?
Ask her does she make chicharron too?
Do you make chicharron?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, she could do that.
I'm
Damn.
trying to.
Pancit.
Pancit
Pancit.
palabok. Pancit
Oh, you know what?
palabok.
My favorite, but I don't eat too much because of the carbs. What's that bread called? Pandesal.
Yeah.
Pandesal. Oh, that's some of the best bread I've ever had in my life.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
over into the when I was in the Philippines, just when it's just been baked and it's warm, and they give you the pandesal. Oh, I could eat 20 pieces of that stuff.
What part of the Philippines were you? Manila? Makati?
She's on.
Cebu?
No, we went to Cebu. She's in the lower, the Sorsogon area. Her family's from, which is lower Luzon.
Okay.
But red hot dog and pandesal, Mark Hope, yeah.
Lechon's another one. Lechon.
You know, I went to high school with a really famous Filipino. He's a huge singer over there. His name's Martin Nievera. Check him out on just Google Martin Nievera, Nieva. I think I pronounce it right. Anyway, Martin is, great singer. He was an actor over there, knows Manny Pacquiao really well. So, yeah.
Mark Hope. Now you're talking lechon dipped in vinegar. Oof. Now you're talking.
Lechon. Oh, yeah.
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 Lechon.
Hey, babe.
and the
Lechon dipped in vinegar. Yeah.
And the Filipino breakfast is good too.
Oh,
with the
yeah.
egg over the rice and the vinegar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
I
love the Philippines.
Yeah,
man.
sometimes it's not the healthiest. It's true, but once in a while, it's okay. In
Yeah.
moderation, like everything.
Yeah, I was over there we were over there 2 weeks in March. So
Yeah, I remember you streaming from the airport trying to get that
that's
internet
right.
signal.
Yeah. So yeah, this is Martin Nievera. Yeah, the TFC, the Filipino channel. Yeah, he's big. But anyway, we graduated high school together. Yeah, so you're getting me hungry now.
Sorry, buddy.
Man, it's 12:30, and I got to get ready for bed. And
It's officially the 4th. Happy 4th, everybody.
Yeah. MF says he has colleagues in the Philippines. Colleagues or wait, did that say go on?
Work-
Oh
work
wait, I'm hitting the
associates.
wrong one. Oh, I was hitting the wrong one. I have colleagues in the Philippines.
Yeah, it's a cool place.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some beautiful beaches in
Palawan.
Palawan. We went to Palawan on our honeymoon.
No.
We went to
Boracay.
we haven't been there. We went to Cebu and to Palawan. We visited some cave or something in Palawan that is like these bat cave. I got video of it. It's pretty wild.
Ask your wife if she knows where Tagaytay is. Tagaytay.
Tagaytay, you been there?
Yeah.
Really? What were you doing all over there?
I used to work for a broker that was from the Philippines, and he asked me to go with them one time, and I said, hell yeah, because I love to travel. And we just went all over the place. We went to this restaurant called Josephine's on a cliff, and there was like lightning way in the background, and that's some of the best Filipino food I've ever had. And they had that sisig outside. That's where I was kind of introduced to it. Fell in love with it. But you can't have it every day, but it is very tasty. Very tasty. So
Wow.
good stuff.
I'm looking for this video. Let me see. Is this
There you go, Mark. Now you're talking.
out there? We're heading to the cave.
Oh, great.
For the welcome to Port-au-Prince's subterranean river. Okay, that was Natural World. Let's see. Where is the
Have you been to Thailand yet, Danny?
No, I've been to Singapore, been to China, been to Korea. Never got to Thailand.
Thailand is some of the best food I've ever had in my life, too. Street food is incredible. Yeah. Good stories out there.
Oh, see, we went through. Oh, look at the bats. Can you see the bats in there?
Oh, that's
We're in-
crazy.
it was weird. This is the cave where it's like, yeah, look at the bats just against the inside this cave. It was kind of trippy. They were just saying we had to wear hard hats in there because, they crap on you.
Have you ever had mango pudding as a
See,
dessert?
there I am with the hard hat.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, man.
Have you ever done the mango pudding, Dan?
Yes. Yeah, there's
Now we're talking.
yeah,
I better stop talking food. You're gonna dive into some food when you shouldn't be eating this late. So I'm gonna zip it. We'll just leave it at that.
yeah, so yes, Lois, my wife got me on the breakfast: rice, egg, sausage, tomato vinegar.
Yeah. That's their breakfast is they're known for their breakfast with the egg on top of the rice.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. But hey, we've been going over 3 hours. We're going to kill this thing here.
Yep.
But hey, everybody, have a great 4th of July. Giants play tomorrow at 1:05, I believe. Let me double check exactly for the right time. It might be a 1:15, but they usually start their games at 1:05. And the 4th of July, 1:35. Okay, so they're going a little later tomorrow, 1:35. So we should be on about 4:15. Won't be a long one. 4th of July, maybe we go an hour, maybe 90 minutes tops, and before it gets dark. So we'll probably come on about anywhere between 4:30 is my guess. I'll put a tweet out, but like I said, we're not going to go past 6 o'clock tomorrow. So I don't want to be going all that much, and everybody's got busy, maybe families, barbecue and stuff. So
A lot of that tomorrow.
it may be only a 45-minute one if we don't have a lot of people joining us. Might be 30 minutes. If we only have 15, 20 people in the chat, it's going to be a quick one. So, but if I got 15, 20 putting out super chats, I'll stay on, you know. It's like my motto is, you know, everybody gets on Blake Sabo for pass balls tonight and balls he didn't catch, and he gave up the first run. I said, yeah, but he hit a 2-run homer. I'll take that exchange from you all day long.
All day.
You give up 1 run and give me 2 on the other
Give
side
me
with
2.
your bat. You give up 2 runs and give me 4. I'll take that trade. You know, just don't equal it. Top it.
Top
you know?
it. Yeah.
And he only gave up 1, and he got you 5 tonight, all on his bat. He drove in all 5 runs. So, yeah. So
Yep.
I'll hang.
Keep talking to him. Keep talking to him, Barry Bonds.
Yep, I'll hang in the chat with lots of super chats. But thanks for those who donated. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Mark Hope. Thanks to all you that have subscribed and follow the NorCal Sports Network. Really appreciate it. Tell your friends about it. Get them to subscribe. We're probably one of the only ones doing pretty exclusive Giants content after the Giants games here. And we're not just going for 20, 30 minutes and, you know, and being done with it. We're going in depth, and we're talking to you about what needs done, what we think they should do, what potential trades they might be able to make. We're going to have some guys that are lifelong Giants guys that have been following the sport well. We'll have Marty Lurie on after the All-Star break. We'll have a couple other guests that all line up, and you know, we'll bring Larry in. Is always welcome to come on and join us. So
can we bring Ned on sometime?
Yeah, we'll get Ned too. I'm going to see if I can line up Ned and Marty together on the same possible show so we can talk.
That's a nice one.
Some sports. So, hey everybody, it has been great that you guys have joined the NorCal Sports Network. We have some T-shirts as well. If anybody wants one of those, $25. Let me show you them real quick here before we get out. We got these T-shirts now that they're XLs, but again, they're really they're nice cotton, but they're really more like a true large in the U.S. So
it's a good looking shirt.
If you're a true large, this shirt will fit you really nice. Just
any hats coming anytime soon, Dan?
I need to work on that. Hats would be great, but see,
it's a good looking shirt.
$25. That includes shipping and handling. I'll send it to you. Just don't dry it, or it'll shrink. Okay. So, but anyway, it's been great. We're going to close out, and